What's up, Black Comic Lords? Look, I know when we do these, I always say we've got something a little different for you this time. But this time we generally have something uh different for you. As you know, first of all, welcome to the channel. For those of you who have returned, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to our channel. And everyone, hit the like button before we get started to help our algorithm so that we can go and keep doing these videos for you in the future. Now, as part of our Black Comic Lords creator interview series, we often interview a lot of creators that are doing incredible work in the comic book arena. But this is a little different. Tonight, we're talking about a magazine that's coming out. A magazine that concerns Afrofutures. Now, we often talk about Afrofutures and Afrofuturism, speculative fiction from a Black perspective in this space. Whether we're talking about Wakanda, or we're talking about the world of Unique Studios, Windmaker, or, whatever. Afrofuturism has been a movement for decades now. We're talking, well, if you really want to go back to W.E.B. Du Bois, is what John Jennings would say, but certainly the 1970s, for me, in Sun Ra is sort of, the beginning of that movement. But as far as what this magazine is all about, what is Afrofutures? I don't know. But here to talk about it is Troy Jeffrey Allen,
Hey,
Eric Hardison, and DJ Candy Crush. Troy, how you doing?
hey, what's up? What's up? I guess Erica and DJ Candy Crush are going to join us a little bit later. I guess just wanted to
Oh,
preface
they
that
they on that CP time. All right, so
they are. It's bound to
let's
happen.
not just reinforce it. It's definitely a black speculative fiction thing, right? It's definitely a black thing.
It is. It's definitely a black thing.
All right.
No, yeah. Let's talk about
So
Afrofutures.
welcome to the show, man. Thank you for reaching out. We're happy to have you.
Thanks for
We were hoping to get you here earlier, but scheduling issues. So we're happy to have you now.
No, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. I checked out the YouTube channel and I saw what you guys were talking about, how you were discussing comic books, not just larger media, but actually talking about comic books. And I was like, I got to be here. So count me
I
in.
like your backdrop too, man. That's on a virtual backdrop, is it?
No, this is real.
That's how you
You can
living,
see
bro.
you can see the junk on the floor. I'm trying to hide, but yeah, this is a real deal. This is my workspace, quote unquote.
Nice, man. All right. So tell us what is this project all about?
So Afrofutures is a 17 plus comic book magazine. And the simplest way I can compare it is if you are familiar with Toonami or Adult Swim or Heavy Metal Magazine or even more recently Love Death Robots, then this is probably the thing for you, but it's black. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the idea is that we're going to go 17 plus because we want to be able to have mature content in it. And we're not just talking about curse words and nudity, but also just we're really looking at subject matter, right? Um, we want to be able to cultivate the type of audience we want to bring into this, and we want people to really kind of be thoroughly entertained by this in the process, as well as thinking about what they're experiencing at the same time. So
It's also got to be good for your creators as well, because you don't have you allow them, hey, let your imaginations run wild. There are no restrictions. There's no censoring on what you're trying to create. Go ahead and just do what you want to do.
no, 100%. I'm at the conventions and I'm talking to creators all the time, and everybody has these aspirations of jumping over to Marvel and DC, et cetera, right? But at the end of the day, the reality is that there is a restraint on what you can do at those companies, right? I mean, that's their IP. That's their prerogative. That's what they should be doing, right? Protecting their IP. But this is really about Black creative expression and really going out there and letting these artists and these writers flex. So yeah, 100%.
Well, speaking of one of those artists, Erica Hardison, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. How are you? You are muted.
You were muted. You're not muted. I'm not sure. Oh, now we
Your
can hear
mic's
you.
not working.
Your mic's not working.
Erica's like, I will not be denied. We're gonna work this out.
Yeah.
That's all right, Erica. It's not like we're all staring at you right now.
Right.
Take your time.
The heat isn't on. But yeah,
I
Erica's. We still can't hear you.
well, while she's working on that,
Okay.
why
Yeah.
don't you tell us about your initial character? I know
Yeah.
this is kind of like what I see is where a lot of this is centering around. This is
hmm
like your mainstay
hmm
of this project. Tell us what this is.
So this is DJ 808, and basically she is the host of Afrofutures. She It was really important to get a master of ceremony for this, and I have been doing a lot of comics that focus very much on hip hop, you know. And so I felt really at home with the idea of like, let's get a DJ, let's get in, like someone who has an MC persona to host this story. And 808 doesn't so much talk as she beat matches throughout the story, right? So what she's doing is remixing history, past, and the future, and the present, and like kind of introducing to you these stories in a way that's like almost a three-dimensional DJ of narrative. And so she pops up frequently throughout the book, and even in the comics and the like, not in the comics, but in the articles and in the chapters in between. And she kind of introduces you to the next story in Afrofutures as it goes along.
I dig
Yeah.
that, man. There
Yeah,
you go.
I hear you. Well, I heard you a second ago. There you go.
All right. I'm
As I
sorry. I didn't
said,
want to interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure you can hear me.
That's good. Okay, we're in. We're
Erica
in.
will not be denied. Hello, how are you, Miss Artisan?
I'm fine. How are you? Thank you for having me. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
That's all right. That's all
We
right.
figured it out. We figured it out.
So let me ask a question to both of you before we get into more of what the book is about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, why Afrofuturism? Why is it important to do a book on this genre?
You want to go first, Erica, or should I go first?
I feel like that's a little bit of a loaded question. Are you
Oh, it's very loaded.
asking, are you asking why are we choosing to create and center Black people in different mediums and genres in a futuristic type of way?
Yeah, what
Or
drew you to doing an Afrofuturism project versus a superhero project or a project involving horror or a project involving romance? What drew you to Afrofuturism as a top to a comics magazine type?
I mean, I could definitely say I think the thing that attracted me to it is that it can encompass all those things, right? Like I think that's the beautiful thing about the term black speculative fiction is it's
Right.
neither here nor there. It's like it's got a lot of wiggle room, right? And so there is a superhero story in the book. There is I would say that Erica's story is like kind of like almost magical surrealism, magical realism in a lot of ways, and like there's kind of like a fantasy element to it, but with hip hop. You know what I mean? We have horror elements in here, like we have cyberpunk elements in here, and the big overarching umbrella is that it's music and it's for us by us.
I dig that because it goes back to what we were saying before about you using the 17 plus rating. You're not
Mhm,
limiting yourselves, right?
mhm,
You're have free creative reign to explore whatever you want in the
mhm,
realm of black speculative fiction,
mhm.
and it crosses so many genres. So that's what I was looking for as an answer. That's great, you guys. I appreciate that. Um, so let's just jump back. You talked about 808,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
This is your I don't know. I'm trying to think of the literary equivalent of 808.
Well, it's like a lot of things are baked in there, right? I mean, you could go the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt, right? Like
Right.
I'm a comic head, like let's do that, right? I people. There's a couple of times we were like kind of figuring out what this character was, and I kept defaulting back to Uatu, to the Watcher from like Marvel comics, right?
Mm.
Tom from Toonami also is kind of baked into this as well, but also stylistically, visually, at her base, like there's a lot of Right On magazine. I used to read that stuff religiously when I was growing up. There's a little bit of a dance hall queen in that design as well. The artist who designed her is Mervyn McCoy. He's Jamaican, so he brought that to it. I
Shout out to Mayano and Massive.
so there's in like it's hip hop inspired. There's a lot of elements of Black culture embodied in 808, and I thought it was kind of important to do that. And I think there's something to be said about like it being an AI as well, right? Like there's been a lot of conversations about appropriation, and if we're looking toward the future, well, what does that look like in the future? Like maybe an artificial intelligence is the next step for us, and maybe that's the avenue that Black culture goes to, like in the future, right? So how do you play off of that? Like how did you represent us in the future?
Damn, that was deep, bro. I mean,
That's what we're here for.
if you're talking about the most appropriated culture in the world, it's
All right.
us, right? We're
Yep.
the innovators. We're the taste makers. And the idea that AI would look at that and say, you know what? Our job is to emulate humanity.
Hmm.
Let's emulate the peak of humanity's creative the pinnacle of humanity's creativity, which is Black folk, and emulate ourselves off of that. That's kind of deep, Troy. I appreciate that.
I mean, look, I'm like, hey, we're gonna do sci-fi. We're gonna think about it again. Like that is, it's for me doing the 17 plus thing is less about nudity and violence and more about like I want people to put thought into this. I want people to really get a little existential with this, and I think Erica's story does that as well.
Yeah. Richard Wright asks, will the magazine be available in physical copies?
Yes, I am actually pushing people. We do have a digital tier because I know there are people outside of the country, and like shipping sometimes can be a bitch, right? But I'm pushing people I'm putting emphasis on the physical version of this because we're going to do this a little bit larger. For those of you who are familiar with the Treasury Edition comics, Marvel books from the 70s, it's going to be about that scale, right? So it won't be like comic book size. It'll be more like that. And the reason for that is because we got some amazing artists on this. And I don't want to cheat you out of experiencing the scale of the artwork.
Someone else asked, or says, great answer. Sita's world meets Tom from Toonami. Sita, that was the character I was trying to remember from the 90s. Wow, that takes me
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Dating yourself with that, Jonathan. Mark Jackson, don't give AI companies any more ideas on who to copy. I mean, you think they haven't done that already, bro?
Oh yeah, they're already doing it.
All right, so let's move on. These designs on 808 are incredible. They're absolutely. Who did this? Who did this design on the left?
So I'm gonna be honest here, guys. The one non-black person featured in this book is ACO, and he is the artist on this particular image. I approached
Dope
him
is
back.
dope. I mean,
Yeah,
I
dope.
mean, it's dope is dope, man. This is fantastic artwork.
Well, the thing I love about this, what I love about this is that I gave him the rough version of what I thought the story was going to be at the time, and he pretty much threw all those elements in there. And so what you're seeing here is what really is in the comic, in a lot of ways. Like she is a robot DJ. She's in isolation in Las Vegas, or or the post-apocalyptic version of whatever Las Vegas is. Like it's at the end of the world. You can see the ships evacuating the planet behind her. That's why the skulls and the bones are in there. You can see her hollow disc that she DJs with. Like he really did just find the story in the description I gave him. Yeah, she is
Perica
like
says
a
she's
drum.
named after a drum machine. I mean,
Yes, she is.
absolutely. I mean, not just any drum beat, but like the 808 sort of represents the heartbeat of a lot of our music.
Yep.
You know, I mean, even going all the way back to Africa, when you're talking about syncopation of music, syncopated rhythms, the basis of jazz, etc. You know, that 808 drum in any, if you go to across the world, that drum is synonymous with black music throughout the diaspora. So I think that's kind of dope that you named the character after that.
No, absolutely. I mean, music needs drums. It needs a beat.
Yeah, it's also a form of communication, a form of language. You know,
Absolutely.
so
Yeah. It is the
you
skeletal
get your message
structure of
across.
communication.
It's deep, man. There's a lot of layers to this stuff, man.
It is, man. That's where we're coming from with this. Like, I'm not trying to. I mean, look, I'm gonna do the big dumb stuff because like there's a big kid in me who loves like Michael Bay movies and stuff like that too. But at the same time, we do want to come from the angle of like let's get weird. Let's put some thought into this. Let's get deep.
Ain't nothing wrong with edutainment, man. Ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with edutainment. All right. So, I mean, the covers and the artwork. We talked about the artwork a little bit. These covers are fantastic. This artwork is fantastic. I mean, it's a mixture of creativity and just style and gloss, and it's just fantastic.
I'm
Tell me
obsessed.
what these two images represent.
Well, first of all, I was just going to say I'm obsessed with street art. Like that is something that I've been a big fan of. I tried my hand at graffiti. I wasn't that guy, right? But I have always been very much into street art and how is it a form of expression? Again, like appropriation, right? Reappropriating like a public space and then putting your artwork on it. I find something very cool about that. And so this is actually Erica's guy. This is Bliss Studios on the right, and he is actually the artist on Telephone. And I don't know what has your experience been like working with Bliss, Erica? Are you muted?
Erica, can you hear us?
No loser again?
Wave your hand if you can hear us.
Okay, I guess not.
Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Erica. Doesn't look like she can hear us.
Yo, can you hear me?
Okay, there you are.
Yo,
Oh, now we got it.
I heard you say, what was it like working with Bliss?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yes.
It was cool. We communicated a lot through Instagram and text messages, and yeah, it was real, chill. I hope I'm a chill collaborator when it comes to producing and working on my visual work. So I try to be as flexible as possible while still trying to get my story across to the artist.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Bliss has been really great, and like I feel like unless I misunderstood him initially, this is like his first comic book work. He's been wanting to do comics, and like I feel like
Really?
this is his first. Yeah. So that
So
in
what was he
itself
doing
was really fascinating.
before this?
From my understanding, I guess he was doing a lot of advertising stuff and a lot of stuff on his Instagram trying to get exposure.
Wow.
Yeah.
You kind of knocked it out the park in terms of finding some artists.
No, yeah, I mean that again, put a lot of thought into that as well. Is like, who do I want involved with this to represent this book? It also helps that I do work for a comic book distributor. Like that is my day job, so I'm constantly talking to creators all the time, and comic book creators all the time. So that also gave me a leg up in terms of like finding people to contact and to get involved with this.
That's what's up. So, Erica, glad you came when you did, because this is yours, is it not?
It is.
Why don't you tell us what Telephone's about?
It is a visual interpretation of Erica Badu's song Telephone that was on her, I want to say, America album in like 2006 or 7, I believe. And it's basically her lyrics, but I just created a visual for it. So in an interview 10, 15 years ago, I came across a YouTube video of Erica Badu explaining this song, and it's basically the last moments of rapper and producer Jay Dilla, because he had lupus and he was really sick, so he was on a lot of medicine, and he would hallucinate, and his mother would catch him talking to himself, and she would ask him who he's talking to, and he would tell her he was talking to O.D.B. So I just took her lyrics and tried to give I guess, Afro surrealist slash horror feel to a very uh uh it's not even an underrated song. It's a beautiful song. It's probably one of the most impactful uh hip hop songs about death. And that's a very short list for me. It's like up there with like Bone Thugs, Crossroads.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
like just a very impactful song, and it has like this gothic eeriness to it as well. So I just really try to create a visual to what that song sounds like, at least to me.
That's dope. That concept is dope. This artwork is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
You
we
appreciate
know,
talked about it. It's really interesting because Bliss is a lot younger than me, so he didn't really know these artists. Like he doesn't have the same connection to these artists. So I created like a playlist for him and um, sent like some images and like going through the archives of old hip hop magazine articles. Finding those old Source and Double XL and Rap Pages, like all those really undergrounded, old, now defunct magazines that really
every
Mhm.
shaped our
time you say the
culture.
word old, you make me feel 1,000 years old.
I mean, it's true. Like, if you were alive when Clinton was president, you are old. And
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Because
it's
kryptonite.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
I earned these gray hairs, Kashi.
There you go. Now
It's
we had to
okay.
experience all those things to get us here, so it's all good.
That's right.
It was a
That's right.
time.
All right. So we also have a story here called the All
Yeah.
Negro Squad. What's this about?
Oh man, I've been thinking about this thing for like what, about 15 years, I want to say. I feel attacked. Erica, you're losing us. I feel old as dirt. That's all right.
You
Dirt's still
just
around
You're
though.
not old, you're seasoned.
You're
How about
seasoned. There you
that?
go. There you go.
that's a good follow up, Erica.
Tragic.
Just,
Erica, you put the room down. No, I'm just messing with
you attacked half our fan base. All right,
you.
No, don't feel that way. Don't feel bad. I'm 41.
that's all right.
And
No,
so
look,
I
we're
was
all in good
there.
company.
So right. So if I'm old, and I know I'm not old, I'm grown. So I don't feel bad.
There you go.
The
Ain't nothing
'90s,
wrong with
the
that.
'90s were the best. I don't care what anybody says. All right, so All Negro Squad. What is this
Yeah,
about?
yeah. Yeah, so All Negro Squad is something I thought about actually during the Obama years.
I mean,
Which,
first of all, let me pause right here.
mhm.
All Negro Squad.
Yes,
The name in itself intrigues the hell out of me.
yes, that is the point. All of this is, first of all, we're here to attention grab. That is definitely a big part of this. Like the work is made to grab your attention.
I
Um,
automatically hear. I'm trying to decide between jazz and funk music, maybe a combination of the both. The
mhm,
music that pops into my head when I hear All Negro Squad, action, 70s style,
mhm.
nostalgic intro music,
Yeah,
cartoon type of animation,
yeah.
and I don't know. That's just sorry. I got on a tangent, but please
No,
tell
no,
me
no.
what
I
all.
think you're in the wheelhouse. Like I think that there's a little bit of there's definitely the superhero element mixed in there. There's a little bit of, I don't know if you remember a movie called O.G.s with Pam Grier and Fred Williamson and whatnot. Like there's a
Of
little bit of
course,
that. Yeah, there's a little bit of that baked in there. There's a little
black
bit of,
exploitation era.
oh yeah, yeah. There's definitely a lot of black exploitation era stuff baked into this as well. But we're inviting, like, truthfully, a lot of like elements of black entertainment over like several decades to kind of play all at the same time.
Right,
And
right.
so All Negro Squad is actually supposed to be, the intention is, it is a spiritual sequel to All Negro Comics #1. So
What?
yeah, so for those of you who are not familiar, you pulling something up. He's reaching for
I
something.
gotta look it out. You can see it with the
Oh yeah, I got
camera.
the book too. I got a copy of that
Ah,
too. Shout out to Chris Robinson for that Kickstarter. Yeah, All Negro Comics came out in 1947, and the story behind it is that it was very much ahead of its time. It was all black creators, and they came together. They made this anthology comic book, kind of the way that we're doing right now, to be honest, and never got a second issue. And there's a lot of speculation about why that is, but the reality is that it never got a second issue, regardless.
no
Um,
paper.
I mean, there's that too. I like, and I, a big part of this with me for me is that I feel like a lot of times black characters in general don't get second acts.
Right.
And so my whole thing is to like explore that in a fun and exciting way. And so what we have here is basically I'm taking the character of Ace Harlem from All Negro Comics #1, and I'm also taking the character of Lion Man, and I'm coming of the approach. I mean, this is a comic book. This is a comic book channel,
Those
so
are
I
the
can.
two best characters in that book too.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
exactly. So I'm taking the approach of, okay, what if they just kept going?
Right.
Like over like the decades. And so I'm a comic book guy. So, I'm thinking to myself, okay, they started in 1947, then they crossed over in the 50s and they got into the Frederick Wortham era where they were doing a lot of sci-fi stuff and it couldn't really draw aside the lines, but they probably had a brief touch with horror during that time as well. Then Justice League and Fantastic Four came out and someone said, hey, make it a superhero comic. So they made it a superhero comic, right? And yes, Lion Man. And by the 70s, they're doing like Lion Man and Ace Harlem are doing like the Green Lantern, Green Arrow thing, where like they're having these socially conscious like superhero adventures that are attacking the issues of the time. That by the 80s they're doing the dark and gritty thing, and the roster is expanding and expanding and expanding. So what we're doing here is we're taking quite a few public domain characters, putting them on the squad, and they all kind of represent like a different period in Black entertainment. And so the story that we're doing is largely about Ace Harlem, who is retired this story takes place in 2012. Ace Harlem has largely been retired, but he is like the scourge of white supremacy. Like he is the guy that like the white supremacists wake up at night in cold sweats thinking about, right? Um, but beyond that, you also have the immortal John Henry. And so John Henry's whole thing is he's John Henry from the Ballad of John Henry. And so my whole thing with that is if Thor can be a mythological character and we speak about John Henry as mythology, then John Henry also can be a mythological character. And so we're playing with that as well within his story. We also have Lion Man's, yeah, thank you. We
This
also
is
have,
Ace Hunt.
that's Ace Now. Yep, that's Ace Now. hmm
I like the
Um,
cane. I get the feeling that cane is not just a cane.
it's not just a cane. Ace definitely has some tricks up his sleeve. Like, Ace's story in the original Negro comics is that he was a detective. So I'm like, okay, well, over the years, he just became a master detective. Maybe he gives a guy like Batman a run for his money, you know? Um, and so, yeah, then we get into the story of Lion Man's daughter within this is like a 45-page story. Lion Man's daughter, Kizzy Harlem, which is Ace's granddaughter, is involved in this as well as
Is that who this is on the left?
yeah, on the left is Kizzy Harlem as well. And on top of that, we have Ace's ward. There's Savannah, who's Lion Man's daughter.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What a you did a throwback to the Lion Man costume too.
Yes, we did. Yes, yes,
Homage
yes.
to it.
And I got to shout out Tam, who did the color work on that, because we weren't sure what direction to go with this. And again, I gave her the idea for the story, and then she came back with lion colors, and I was like, I never would have thought of that, but it's so obvious, you know.
Yeah. That's dope.
In addition to that, like because I'm a big fan of what I call the urban martial arts fantasy, action fantasy, which is to me stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Big Trouble in Little China, Barry Gordy's Last Dragon, The Warriors.
Dolomite.
This, say it again.
Dolomite.
Dolomite is also in there, right? And so this is Streetwise Hercules, who was Ace's ward throughout the 80s and is now an adult. And so he has his own adventures. And so all these characters come together during Obama's inauguration in 2012. Yes, John Henry's Jack, it would have to be. They all come together at Obama's inauguration during 2012. And not to give away too much, but a zombie epidemic breaks out. And at the base of that might be a bunch of white supremacist group. So we're going to have zombified celebrities because it's Obama's inauguration, and they got to save the president of the United States.
All right. I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you now, this story is way dope, more dope than needs to be contained in just a magazine.
Yeah,
This needs to be like an ongoing series, bro. Like you all right. I'm excited. I'm just showing my excitement, man. This is a dope concept.
Yeah,
I'm all in.
You know, look, here's the thing. The magazine is the testing ground to see how far we can push this thing. So if it does very well, which it seems to be doing right now, but I encourage everybody who's watching to definitely throw their support behind it on Kickstarter. I have so many more ideas for this concept. I've been thinking about this thing since 2012. So there's a lot of legwork here. There's a lot of public domain characters that I want to play with and bring into the all Negro Squad.
All right. Well, wow. So someone just walked into the building here.
Who's joining us?
DJ Candy Crush.
DJ Candy Crush.
How are you?
Thanks,
How
Joe.
are you?
What's up, Candy?
I'm good.
Hey.
Hey guys, how is everyone today?
Good.
Hi, how are you?
Very good.
Good.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
I should turn on the camera there.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, I thought you were
There
trying to hide from us.
No, I didn't even.
I'm about to say you're in your room, so I was like, we got to see all the cool stuff you have in there.
All the cool stuff. All the cool
Yeah,
stuff.
just show us the backdrop. Show us the backdrop.
Behind
What do we
me
got
is. Oh man, can I flip this? Actually, I don't know if I can flip this. Well, it's turntables and reactions right now. X-Men and Jimi Hendrix and stuff. So it's a nice little mix of things.
I dig it already.
So DJ Candy Crush is actually helping us bring 808 into the real world in a lot of ways, right? Like we had this robot DJ, we needed a DJ who understood and loved the idea of the character, and Candace, DJ Candy Crush, is that person, right? And so she is creating she's helping us create music content for this character, and so a lot of stuff you're seeing on our Instagram, on our YouTube, on our Facebook, et cetera, the soundtrack is coming from her.
Yeah, I mean, there's a trailer that you did. I wanted to play it, but I was like afraid YouTube will come after us because they got like spies that look at us constantly and send us hateful. You're stealing our music type thing. Mm-hmm. But you played, the KRS One joint that I just love. That's one of my favorite beats, man. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
And you haven't even heard the DJ Candy Crush remix yet.
Yeah,
that's what I was telling you. I'm like, if that's what you led with, I can imagine what Candy Crush has done on top of that. Mm-hmm. So you're the style creative. Is that it?
Yeah. Help bring the flavor.
You had the seasoning everybody's doing.
Yeah, the seasoning, the flavor, the toppings, the cherry on top,
Well, if you're doing that, you have to tell us, like, what were your influences in this project?
What were my influences in this project? That's a good question.
Actually, if I could add a little something to that, Candace, or DJ Candy Crush, I'm sorry. Can you just give them your background, like tell them about how you became a DJ and the people
how I became a DJ.
The people that you learned under.
So yeah, my mentors. Well, I'll start there. My mentors are Grand Wizard Theodore himself, and DJ Jimmy Fingers, DJ E Boogie, and DJ RBI, who are here. But yeah,
where do you live again? Candy Crush?
I live in DC, Washington DC.
All right.
Yeah, but my main mentor too. I
said home of the go-go.
Right. My main mentor is like I said, Theodore, and I started DJing when I was 12. It's just something I wanted to do. I had a nice background in it. My mom was in the industry, still is in the industry, and it's just something I just wanted to pick up. It was one of those things where I saw turntables and I just wanted to do something. And I started when I was 12. I started DJing for Adidas and started DJing for all the pioneers in the industry. I've DJed for Chubb Rock, the Soul Sonic Force, to Roxanne Shante, to Curtis Blow, to oh man, the list just goes on and on. Mr. Cheeks and man, it is a long list.
Whole bunch of
And
artists that were in their prime back when I did not have gray hairs.
well, yeah, but a lot of them still looks exactly the same, so you're good.
So,
But yeah, I did that for them, and I've just been in the game for a while. I'm on the radio now on PFW as the engineer and DJ on there on a Hollaback show, and yeah. Besides that, I'm just spinning and DJing for all types of events and peoples and little tours that get called up. So that's a little tiny background about me, and I'm very versatile. I DJ all different genres. I do not stick with just one. I love music, so I like to dig as far back as most DJs won't. Like that's just me.
yeah,
um,
Richard Wright was asking if there's going to be a mixtape.
yeah,
Maybe
we are.
you guys put
Yeah, we're
together
thinking
like
about doing that.
a Spotify playlist.
Yeah, we talked about doing that. Spoke about doing that. So that is, I think that's going to be one of the next things that we're going to do. Not sure, but maybe just look out for it.
I would love to have a playlist to read to listen to as I'm reading the magazine that
Yeah,
follows the magazine.
That should be
yeah,
fun.
yeah. See, the thing, if you
I'm
tell
gonna have
Candace
to,
that,
I'm gonna have to reread it and then do stuff as I'm reading it.
nah, like
But that should be really fun.
DJ Candy Crush, like you give her an inch, and she's like, okay, I'm all in. So
I'm
I can't
giving
imagine.
you the whole yard. I have no say in this whatsoever, but I'm going to request that you put together something a playlist for the reading of this book.
There you
Okay,
go.
yeah, I can do that.
I
You lucky my
challenge
stuff
you.
isn't plugged up right now. I would have did it live. So, but, like, here's your mix right here, live.
There's your mix
I
right
Boom.
have
now.
thrown the gauntlet down, and I challenge you, DJ Candy Crush.
I got you. No, that's like I said, that's something else going to happen. Um, and I have some ideas and some things that I want to do. And like I said, I think we have been speaking on that. So
hmm
we're gonna see. We're gonna see what direction I'm gonna go, or 808's gonna go, and
hmm
we're gonna. I'll talk to her and see what she wants to do.
There you go. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, part of the rewards tier, or one of the rewards that is available to actually, it's all part of all the tiers, is a virtual like a party that we're going to throw as a celebration when we successfully fund this project, which we're very close to. I kind of tried to type it in the chat, but as you see, I kind of whiffed a little bit when I did it. But like, yeah, and that's going to be DJ Candy Crush working with our videographer John Holmes, and like they're going to make something really cool and really awesome. It's going to be a celebratory stream
Hmm.
once this thing crosses over into successfully being funded.
That's what's up.
It's gonna be
All
great.
right. Well, let's get back into the book.
Yeah.
I did a little tease here, and people were asking questions about it.
Hmm.
The Secret Files of Josephine Baker. Now, look, I love the titles for all of these books because you literally don't even need to give me a synopsis. You simply put Josephine Baker, Secret Files, and the word spy.
hmm
And that's all I need to know
hmm
to raise a whole bunch of questions in my mind. Because many of us who have obviously heard of Josephine Baker and we know about the artistic side, the singing, the dancing, the acting, what have you. Also, when you read history books, they say, as a blurb, as a footnote, yeah, she was also spying in the war, the Great War.
Mhm.
It's like, well, what do you mean by that? Like, what does she do? Like, nobody knows, really.
Mhm.
So tell us who. First of all, for those youngins who don't have the gray hairs that I have, who is Josephine Baker, and what's this story all about?
Well, I mean, as the description says, she was a sex icon, a dancer, a singer, and an actress. Josephine Baker was actually one of the earliest actors to like appear in on black actors to appear in a film. And
Basis of Betty Boop too.
Yeah, right. The basis of Betty Boop as well.
Mhm.
Famously, she went to France. She had a notorious show that was sexually charged, but also, she became very integral in the civil rights movement over the course of time. Um,
Mhm.
the interesting detail about her, also, of course, is that during World War II, she was enrolled she was she actually volunteered to be part of the French Resistance. And so one of the stories that we hear most frequently is that they use her music notes to transfer information back and forth between each other because she was an international superstar, so she could travel anywhere without suspicion. Um, Doing my research for this, I discovered more and more details about her that I feel like ultimately it's really kind of coming down to, I hard to think, it's coming down to we just don't get those details in America, but in France, she is like, she's an icon, and so you get all these other details that I don't think you get a lot over here about Josephine Baker when she was a spy. And so what we've been playing with is this idea that Josephine Baker maybe had some secret files during World War II, and she has to close out some missions during the 1950s, some lingering Nazi action that occurred during the World War II that she has to tie up the loose ends on.
Okay, let's start with these images.
Hmm.
Now, particularly the image on the left.
Yes.
The first thing that springs to my mind is this Bruce Timm
Yeah.
style animation from like Batman the Animated Series.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking which was a series that had that stylistic look of like the 1940s,
Hmm.
which is kind of the time period we're talking about. Is that intentional?
That was very intentional. One of the things when I went to Jonathan Edwards about the artist Jonathan Edwards about this book, and he's the artist on the left is actually the artist on the comic. Yeah,
That's what,
one of
that's
the
what
things
the art in the book is going to look like.
that is what the art in the book is going to look like. If you go to the Kickstarter right now, you will see an interior page. There you go. Yeah, of the comic itself. And one of the conversations we had immediately early on was, okay, what is the tone? What is the look? And we immediately landed on Batman the Animated Series.
I love it. This is dope.
And one thing I love about this page too is like, famously the story behind Batman the Animated Series is that they used to draw on black paper, right, to get that noir feel. And if you'll notice, the backdrop of this comic, typically gutters in comics are white. The
Yeah.
backdrop of this comic is black as well.
Yeah. Looks more dramatic that way too.
It does, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Hmm.
So this is like the untold story of her being a spy in World War II. Damn,
Yeah,
what a dope concept. How the hell has that never been done before?
that's been my whole thing, man. This is another story that I've been sitting on for about 20 years. And so, I mean, you might have to wrestle this one from the Fabulous magazine. I mean, I'm into it actually. Like, I think like it's right now it's a bunch of guys writing this, so maybe we need a female voice on board. Um,
Can I
but
tell you something? A couple
yeah,
years
Please,
ago, can I tell you something? A couple years ago,
please.
I wrote a steamy, I guess I use the word steamy sapphic Josephine Baker story, a short story. It was just
hmm
for my amusement because I
yeah,
like mystery and I like noir and stuff like that.
hmm
So yeah, I wrote this. Me and another friend were actually talking about it. Stephanie Williams, who just wrote
okay, yeah,
Moon Girl,
hmm
because she was talking about it too, and I was like, "Yo, that's so interesting," because I was thinking the same thing. But yeah,
mm
so there are people with the wheels turning on Josephine Baker and women who are
hmm
very interested in providing a story for her.
absolutely.
That's outstanding.
I don't, actually, I shouldn't downplay Colleen Douglas's involvement in this project. Colleen Douglas is actually the editor of this story, and Colleen is also doing a story for Epiphany Engine.
Right, right. We're
Yeah,
familiar with her. It's out in the UK.
yeah, absolutely. Like, and so I reached out to her and I was like, can you help me edit this thing? Because I can go 18 different ways with this if I'm not careful. So this is one of those stories that like I remember going to the Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. In high school and discovering for the first time that Josephine Baker was a spy. And I grew up loving the Indiana Jones movies. And
Right.
so and in general, as I got older, I just in general love pulp stories, right? I feel like a lot of the superhero comics have roots in pulp. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we take as popular culture now started in the realm of pulp fiction, like those dime store novels that were expanded into comic books and video games, and like the tropes that we have come to know about these types of stories. And so I immediately just started dreaming up a story about Josephine Baker, involving like Nazis. And that's not exactly this story because we're doing the short version of it first. But again, if we get this issue 2, then I will most definitely be telling that 45-page version. So that's the
God,
plan.
you got my head spinning on ideas, man. I mean, it's so much material to work with. When you mentioned Indiana Jones, I'm like, God,
Hmm.
imagine her adventuring all over the world, and
Right.
and she's got a ace former pilot from the Tuskegee Airmen flying this cargo plane, and they fly
Uh-huh.
around the world, and they go on these missions, and
Hmm.
oh wow, and
Man, this
there's
is
got to be some
funny.
French guy who's like the translator guy who also makes deals for him. Like my head's spinning. I
Yeah.
love the whole concept.
That's so funny. Like there's definitely a character sheet that there's a few character sheets we haven't shown anybody of the next story for this, and there's a pilot in there for sure.
Oh yeah, man. It's this how this has not been picked up as a Amazon Prime or Netflix show or something like that is beyond me.
I mean, I will say
That's a fantastic concept.
one of the reasons I was like I got to get this out now was actually I don't even know what happened to this project, but there was I don't know if it still exists. There was a French Resistance TV show that was in development, and Janelle
Yeah.
Monáe was going to play Josephine Baker. And
Wow.
I never heard anything else about that. I know she was cast in that role, and it was supposed it wasn't about Josephine, but she had a role in the show as Josephine
Right.
Baker. And I remember when I read that, I was like, shit, I need to get rolling on this because I've been sitting on this thing for way too long. So yeah, like it's definitely in the ether. Like clearly it's in the ether. Erica's got an idea. Stephanie Williams has got an idea. There was an erotic novel actually that I found on Amazon that kind of played with these things as well. So yeah, it's fertile ground for sure.
Jeez. Pericles says, I still remember when Lynn Whitfield played Josephine Baker. Yeah, I
Hmm.
remember that
Yeah,
movie. That was fantastic.
I feel like for a generation, that's probably a lot of for a whole generation that was our initial exposure to Josephine Baker. If you were like a child of
Right.
the '80s or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is a magazine.
Hmm.
And so you have articles.
Yes.
Are the articles focused on Afrofuturism, on comics, on all of the above? What type of articles can we expect in this project?
So a big part of this is for us to be forward thinking, right? I've had a few conversations with some creators where I've been very, very, very detailed in telling them, whatever you do, do not make your story about white people and our relationship with them. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's just so much of that. Like everything's like a reaction to the racism. Everything is a reaction to everything. Forgive me for saying I said this in another interview. Everything is like trauma porn. You know what I mean? And there's stuff that approaches that stuff in a very meaningful, very thoughtful, and also entertaining way. You know, but I made it very clear to them that like, no, we want to like go beyond all this stuff. Like, let's think about the next things for us as a culture, and so that also permeates the articles as well. And so we have we have like at least 3 articles in the magazine that are thinking about blackness in terms of what comes next for us. We have an interview with Gigi Murakami. She is an internet sensation right now. She's a mangaka. I always get that. I always butcher that. Mangaka, black mangaka, which basically is a black manga artist, right? And she does a little interview with us talking about her craft. We have an article about AI and its role in music right now. I don't know if you've heard, but Timbaland was actually exploring the idea of uh, taking the vocals of deceased artists and making the music with it. And then, of course, we saw Drake actually do that, right? And now he's getting sued for this, right? Um, but like the interesting thing is like this is kind of the future that we're in now. So what like let's have a conversation about that. And again, this is what I mean when I'm saying like 17 plus. Let's have those conversations. Let's go a little deeper. You know what I mean? There is a piece about all Negro comics, of course, because I wanted to make sure that I point directly back to that book as well. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything.
That's awesome. How many articles can we expect in the magazine?
There's 3 articles in the magazine, and 9 comics.
9 comics. All right. Well, you said there's 9 total comics. Let's get back to the comics.
Mm-hmm.
What type of comics can we've gone over the ones we've done so far, but
Mm-hmm.
what other ones can we expect? Can you go into what this one is right here?
This one is called Last Round. It's by John Tolliver. It is a cyber boxing title. He told me that he wanted to do something with some manga energy and a little bit of Sin City thrown in there too. And like, yeah, he delivered on that. So like, it kind of gives me some Mike Tyson Punch Out vibes. I got to be honest.
I was literally thinking Mike
Yeah.
Tyson Punch. I didn't know if
Right.
you would offend you if I said that.
No, absolutely. That's kind of what we're leaning in. I mean, like a big part of this also, this project is up like upholding black myths, you know what I mean, in all their many forms, right? So that's why we're bringing in Josephine Baker, like that's why we're bringing in Ace Harlem, and so we want to make sure that we're expanding the mythology of these things, and Mike Tyson's Punch Out is kind of part of that too, right? So you might as well.
Yeah. What are these image here? This one on the left looks like it came out of an art museum. What is this?
This is a Gene. He has actually been kind of integral in the design of the book itself. And so this is just a little art piece that he's been working on. Truth be told, this is going to be a well, I don't even want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. It's in the book. I'll just tell you that much.
Buy the book, y'all. Buy the book.
Buy the book. The image on
to the right.
So you were talking about drums earlier, right?
Yeah.
This is a page from the origin story of 808 that's in the comic itself. And so I won't give anything away, but clearly she's named after the drum machine. So you kind of see a little bit of what the history of drums are.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm. And actually, this is the piece. This is actually when I realized, okay, we got it. This is exactly what this needs to be. Artist Mervyn McCoy, who designed 808, he came through and he's been like delivering like pages for this origin story. So Mervyn is drawing the intro comic that is the origin story of 808 before she starts introducing you to all the little stories inside the book itself, right? And Mervyn's just been really just kind of breaking the fourth wall and doing some crazy 3-dimensional stuff with this. And it's going to be wild. Like that's the best thing I can tell you is like, yeah, like the story takes place at the ends of the earth, and it's all about 808's beginnings before she dives into the book itself.
This stuff is fantastic.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. So look, I'm kind of looking at the chat, and all people are saying is, when does this book drop? I'm ready for it now. Why do we have to wait? This is too long. This is too good. So tell us the process. Well, first of all, let's start. The Kickstarter is live now.
It's live right now on Kickstarter. Just go to Kickstarter, type in Afrofutures, all one word, or you can hit the link. I feel like the link is painfully long for sharing, but yeah, you can also hit the link as well.
Okay. When does the Kickstarter end?
The Kickstarter ends July 18th. So
July 18th.
July 18th. We just launched this right before Juneteenth. This is our second week, and truth be told, we are 80%. We have made 80% of our money at this point.
So
And I want to blow past that goal, to be honest, because the more we blow past that goal, the more stuff we can do with this thing.
that's what's up.
Hmm.
Wow. I'm excited about this book. I'm
Yeah.
terribly excited. What are
Good.
y'all in the chat say, man? Are y'all excited about this book?
Good.
Um,
I'm excited.
So-
like, so
After we reach the 18th, when can we expect the book to actually go out and be printed out and go out?
we're gonna do February. We're gonna drop it during Black History
Yeah.
Month.
Okay.
So you guys gotta wait a little bit, but it's gonna be like a little late Christmas gift for y'all.
H&H says, I also noticed some limited print versions.
Yeah, we have bundles. So you can there's 3 covers, and you can get each cover. You can get all 3 covers, and then you can get each cover individually if you have a preference. But then on top of that, we have a bundle, which is a sticker sheet, which features artwork from Erica's story, artwork from the 808 story, artwork from All Negro Squad, et cetera, et cetera. And then on top of that, we have prints that are featuring each cover as well by the artist. And those are going to be it was 8.5 by 10. I might be saying that backwards, but like magazine size prints.
Derek, is it possible for us to pull up the Kickstarter on the screen?
Absolutely, please do.
I want to show people what you're offering here.
Absolutely. So yeah, here's the whole breakdown, and if you keep scrolling.
Yeah, can you show the various tiers? Yeah. Oh, go back. Yeah, right there. I want to see the books.
Yeah. If you scroll all the way to the top, you'll see all the different covers that are available. So yeah, we do have a digital version because, like I said, I didn't want to do a digital version, but everybody's like, "Look, people outside this country are going to want to get a hold of this." So do it.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing. I remember we were talking to some artists from Nigeria a couple of weeks ago, and they said, there are a lot of limitations in some countries on buying books. So
yeah,
digital is kind of the way to go.
Mm-hmm. There's the All Negro Squad cover by Nelson Blake, who is also the interior artist. If you like the character art that you saw for All Negro Squad, Nelson Blake is the interior artist. We're not doing this Marvel versus DC, this Marvel DC bullshit, like where they put Alex Ross on the cover and someone's doing pencil
and Bobo
stick
Schmo
figures
on the inside.
stick figures on the interior. There's the Bliss cover, right? And again, Bliss is also the artist on Telephone. So if you love that cover, there's more of it inside the book itself.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And
the ACO cover.
Yeah. And there's the ACO cover as well. Again, a lot of bang for your buck, man. That's also a big part of this. I've been listening to people over the years about the comics are $3.99 and you can read them in 10 minutes. And, I'm trying to give you guys an experience here, something that you can really sink your teeth into. And truth be told, I don't even want this to go into the long boxes. This is something I want on your table. I want you to love it that much. You know what I mean? I want you to periodically thumb back through it and be like, man, this was really cool.
Is there a hardcover? Is this what format is this going to be?
So it's going to be a soft cover. But it's going to be high quality. We're going to do cardstock, cardstock soft laminate cover for this.
At some point in the future, I hope you have the opportunity to do a hardcover version, because something like this is something you want to. It would be dope to have on your bookshelf too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's the collector's set, and each cover comes with the 3 prints of all the covers if you get the collector's set, in addition to the stickers. And
I think I ordered the ACO version.
Oh, nice, cool. And then there's also a retailer version available. So if you are a store, you can get 3 of each cover, and it's arrives just in time for Black History Month, which is perfect for a lot of comic shops or whatever.
Now, when this drops, are you guys going to go on a promotional tour, hit up some cons? I need to know where I can get my copy and bring it to you and have you sign it, each and every one of you.
No, I mean that's cool. I mean the idea for me is like, hey, we're gonna get enough copies to make sure that all the creators get them, right? And then on top of that, like, yeah, we're probably gonna hit up DreamCon, hit up BlurredCon, hit up like all sorts of other like conventions, and just kind of shell out, man. Show people what we've done because it's something to be proud of.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but if any of you have the opportunity, I would highly recommend DJ Candy Crush. This is kind of in your area. There's Atlantic Comic Con coming up in Virginia, in what's it called? Norfolk, Virginia, August 16th through 18th. Being put on by writer Greg Burnham and Deron Flood. Fantastic con. Everybody who's anybody is going to be there. And if you guys can make your way down there, I'd highly recommend it because I think you'll find a lot of your fan base, people that would be interested in purchasing this book and the Kickstarter will be there as well. So, highly recommend that. All right. Look, we appreciate having you all here. This book is, wow, this is amazing. You guys should all be proud of yourselves. Shout out to all of you. Round of applause to all of you for your work on this. I'm not BSing you. I'm genuinely looking forward to this book. I think it's dope. As soon as Troy reached out to me, I was like, yes, please. Let's bring you on our first opportunity. We have a tradition here at Black Comic Lords that when you interview with us, we consider you family. And we ask that you look into the camera and say your name and say, I'm a Black Comic Lord, and then we'll give you the rights and passage and all this, the gifts that come with that. What is that? Our producers. What are you doing back there, Derek? All right. Derek, pull me off the screen and have them do it. They can do it as a team. That's collective.
Okay.
All you doing.
Erica was like, whoa, wait, what's going
on? Solo time.
Solo time. I am TJA Comics and oh wait, this way.
I am Erica.
I am Candace, aka DJ Candy Crush.
And we are
Black Comic Lords.
Yeah, Black Comic Lords. I was like short of that.
That's cool. It's the first time we ever did it as a group. I just wanted to try something different.
There you go.
All right. Well, appreciate y'all. Look, we're going to go to commercial break. For those who are watching, please support this project. The Kickstarter's out there. This is fantastic. If you've been following us in this space, you can appreciate how incredible this book is. I mean, it's groundbreaking. It's different. It's the stuff that we complain about all the time. Why can't we get this? They're doing it? All the stuff you guys complain about, they're doing it. So you got to throw some support on this. Don't waste your money on a bunch of books that you know you're not going to like. Go get this one. So we're going to take a bit of a commercial break. All of you, we still stick around after this. We have kind of an after show called Wednesday Wrap Up with the rest of the Black Comic Lords. You are all invited and welcome to stay if you want. If you have other things to do, that's fine. But if you want to hang out and just talk comics and just chop it up about random stuff that goes through our minds, you're more than welcome. All right. So that's an invitation to all of you because you've all been initiated into the cult.
Nice.
Or group, or I'll come up with some of the euphemism. Doesn't sound so pejorative. All right. Dr. Wizard, take us out to a commercial, please.
Shout out to the Black Comic Lords for having me on the show and also for being true believers in every aspect of comic books and nerd culture.
I'm Eve Ewing, and this is the Black Comic Lords.
Hello, this is Larry Fuller, the creator of Evan, with a shout out to the fine folks at Black Comic Lords. Keep up the good work.
Hey, I know it's me. This is OMG, and this is Black Comic Lords.
Black Comic Lords.
Yo, Black Comic Lords. Black Comic Lords.
Black Comic Lords with your boy Lonzo Starr. Check in.
You're here with the Black Comic Lords.
You're here with the Black Comic Lords. Stay demented.
I am Professor John Jennings, and I'm a Black Comics Lord.
Black Comic Lords for life. Let's go. BCL for life, baby.
Black Comic Lords.
Black Comic Lords. Follow.
Subscribe now. Yeah.
Where's our black real estate in comics? What do I mean? Let's check out Black Panther. He is gone from the MCU for reasons. And what is happening in the comics? We can complain all day about how our champion is being treated, but we don't own that character. Look at Milestone character, curated by one of the greats, Dwayne McDuffie, my guy. But we don't really own or control any of his characters. DC does. So I'll ask again, where is our black real estate in comics? Meet Delta Dogs from Millennial Comics, created and controlled by us, where story sits in the forefront. Delta Dogs is more than just black characters being black for the sake of being black. This story is about 7 cousins that gets into an encounter with a mysterious glowing stranger that changes their lives forever. And with their unique abilities, this family may be the one thing that can save their hood that's being ruled over by a vicious super gang. With an ex-criminal as their leader and other superheroes that looks the other way when it comes to their environment, this will be an impossible mission to pull off. Grab these books in our hardcover Ultimate Edition bundle at millennialcomic.com so we can really have some skin in the game when it comes to the comic book industry. Keep doing y'all thing, Black Comic Lords. Peace.
What's up, comic fam? It's your boy Paul with an exclusive look at a dope new section of our blackcomiclords.net website. Head to the site, click on Black Indie Comics for your selection of the dopest black comics around. And if you're a black comic creator and you want to be added to the site, send us your link with a copy of your logo so we can add it in there. But be patient. We're getting there. We're getting there. Much respect to all of you. No intro video for the Wednesday wrap-up show? Come on, producer, what are you doing, bro?
You know what time it is?
What time is it, bro? It's the Wednesday wrap-up show.
What up? What
All
up?
right.
What up? What's going on, everybody?
Where the hell's Angel?
Yeah, I think she'll be on in just a minute. She'll be on shortly. That was a really good interview, and I'm really glad that you could do that interview with that Afrofutures.
I was glad to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to have done it like 3 weeks ago, but issues.
Yep.
We tend to be busy over here at the Black Comic Lords.
Yeah, we keep it that way. What's up, chat? Just want to thank you all for joining us. Definitely caught you all here. Bot Boy, Pericles. Thanks again to Detroit, aka Rexco, Groovy Faye, Smooth Approach, Jonathan, Martin, a Manifesto, Eugene Raxton, America's most experienced mystic.
I think all them people gone, bro.
And so many more. So thanks all for joining. What's up, Azure Beast? Good to have you here. So, what's going on this week?
Well, let's start with our reads of the week.
Bunch of shenanigans.
Can you pull up our
You
list?
may need to pull that up because I'm having some technical difficulties on my other computer.
Let me just say this before we get into all the shenanigans. Please like, share, and subscribe. Throw us a follow. Tell a friend, tell a hater. We don't care. And if you're feeling a little generous tonight, please hit us with a super chat. And I'm going to put an emphasis on y'all. Please hit us with a super chat because respectfully, money is down. I know these blood hunt books is costing y'all a guap, but we need some cash money over here because these streams don't run by themselves.
And
we
we
ain't got no tree outside we can just go grab some money off of. So please support the channel through a super chat. You know, tell a friend. You know, $1, a $2, whatever, it goes a long way for what we're trying to do. Also, please support our website, blackcomiclords.net. If you have any issues, concerns, problems, I don't want to hear about them, but you can email us at blackcomiclords@gmail.com. Paul might holler at you, whatever. They keep me in the background, you know what I'm saying, because I'm unfiltered. So you may not like what I have to tell you. I believe in giving a healthy dose of tough love around here. So please, guys, please support the channel. Anyway, shout out to everybody. Angel just popped off and popped on and popped off. And what's going on?
Angel, what are you doing?
I'm doing all right. StreamYard is doing some weird thing. It won't let me use my Safari browser. It made me download the app, and it's like, okay.
Oh, are you two also having problems using your iPhone technology, Macintosh technology to do StreamYard?
No, I'm not having trouble.
And shout out to the Android users.
StreamYard decided to not be compatible with Safari. Oh no!
Safari is a Macintosh product, is it not?
It is, but the recent update to StreamYard does not allow for you to use the iOS browser. It forces you to download the app.
That's crazy.
Well, my Google Chrome is working fine.
Yeah, and it's also susceptible to breaches.
All this backstage technical talk on the comic show. Hey, just adding to Rich, you know, you may get to see a new super chat video if we have some super chats tonight. So
if you want to see the new super chat video, you got to give us a super chat.
Yeah. Also, guys, while we're here, also please support the Epiphany Engine Kickstarter. You know, we're almost at 20,000, and we got about 3 weeks to go.
Yes.
So this thing is kind of trudging along. I believe it will be fully funded. But please support the Epiphany Engine. A lot of great creatives are going to be doing work. And man, I tell you what, 2025 is shaping up to be amazing. We just had the Afrofutures magazine interview. Their Kickstarter is also started. And that book, they just told us that it'll be out in February. And the Kickstarter for Epiphany Engine, that book is due to hit our doorstep in January. So the first part of 2025 is going to be amazing. So y'all, please support these efforts. You know, we can talk all day long about we don't have representation, we don't have this, that, and the third, but when somebody's trying to offer it to you, you can't say that you ain't got nothing to read. You can't say you ain't got no representation. You got lots of it at this point.
Yes.
So, you know, please support.
All right. Let's see. Paul, just about there.
Man, there was a lot of dope stuff that came out today, and I did get a chance to go get my pull, and I got a chance to read all my books.
Okay,
Yes,
so shout out to Sean Martin, bro, whose book Anansi Boys dropped today. It's oh crap! Can you guys see the screen? Okay, great. Anansi Boys an adaptation of the Neil Gaiman book. Here's the 3 covers for it. First one covers by David Mack. Second one, I believe, is by Sean Martinborough himself. And the third one is by the GOAT, Dennis Cowan. So let's see what this story is all about.
we got a super chat, man.
We did get a super chat, Paul.
What?
We did get a
Super chat.
Oh, we got a super chat.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's play it. I don't even know what the new super chat video is, so I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, let's see what it is.
Show me the money. Yeah! Louder! Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love black
people.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite movies.
There you go.
All right, so the story says, Fat Charlie Nancy leads a boring life as a boring Londoner until he discovers 2 things. That his recently deceased father was, in fact, Anansi the Spider, the trickster god of African folklore, and that he has a twin brother he's never met, which kicks off a reality-spanning odyssey of sibling rivalry, jealous deities, and one more poor soul who'll realize what it means to be a god. Sounds dope.
You had a chance to read it yet?
Like to check it out. No, it just came out today. All this stuff just came out today.
I did. I got a chance to read it. It's pretty good.
Have not had a chance to read that. Oh, tell us about it. Go ahead.
I mean, you know what? I don't want to spoil it from everybody.
That's
but
it.
just
That's the whole thing. That's the whole review.
No, I'm just saying that it's a pretty dope book. It's very entertaining. It's got some things in it that, you know, some LOL moments in it. So yeah, it's a pretty good book. So shout out to that. Definitely a welcome addition. Dark Horse every now and then will give us a gem, and I think this is one of the gems. So yeah, and it's going to be a Amazon show. So yeah. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
sorry,
Amazon's on a roll with some of these shows, so I'm there for that.
Yes, sir. I got the Dennis Cowan cover.
Amazon is throwing a middle finger to Disney Plus.
Yes.
Another super chat. Respect, Anthony Davis. Thank you.
Ordered.
He said, I love BBL.
Is another one?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Anthony, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you.
My man. Thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Moving along. Next up, the antagonist number 3. Let me tell you something. If y'all ain't reading antagonist, I don't know what to tell you. Black super love, super family, dope concept of a story. Fantastic artwork. I mean, the book's got it all. Shout out to Tyler Forrest Martin. In this story, the origins of Tanya and Calvin's powers are revealed in a devastating flashback. Meanwhile, Agent Sheila English continues her investigation into the death of Mr. Murray. Now, what's interesting is what's slated for this week is that issue 3 and issue 4 drop this week. I don't know why it says that on the publications. I don't think both of them dropped in the same day. That doesn't make any sense. But antagonist number 3. I hope you pre-ordered it. Here's another cover for it. Now StreamYard's starting to move things slowly. Here's another cover for it. The whole family on there.
That's nice cover art. I like that.
Yeah, that one I liked.
The Val
that
family.
was nice. I didn't even see that today.
One dude looks like Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, that's a dope cover. Now, the hottest book of the day, by all accounts, in mainstream comics. Blood Hunt #4. Did any of you get a chance to read this book?
No, I have it in my pile.
I did.
Don't everybody jump to once.
Yep.
This, you read it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rich, did you read it?
I did. Yes, sir.
Give me your impression.
Very dope.
Tell me what you think.
I mean, it was
very dope.
You know what I'm saying? What I don't want to spoil it for nobody, but to simply say that this is not. I won't listen. I'm not going to say
you can't really say much without.
I'm not going to say that it's the best issue thus far. It is a very, very key issue. It is, of all of the Blood Hunt books, we've got 4 now. Of all the Blood Hunt books, this definitely #4 was definitely the best book because we finally got some quote unquote reveal, which is interesting in that this book actually takes you back to Blade the Vampire Hunter, issue 5. I want to say it is
issue #5. I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So we get some backstory with that. Funny thing is, if you've read the Black Panther Blood Hunt book, I will spoil that. There's a part where they go into the Temple of the first blasphemy, which was in Wakanda. They made a way where they transported it. They transported it from Wakanda to Central Park. So, and I guess that was done by Dr. Strange. So the Temple of Blasphemy is in the middle of Central Park, along with the Strange Academy. There's a lot of different stuff in this book. This book brings actually all of the tie-ins almost together. Not every one, but a lot of them. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was dope. It was dope. But the Black Panther Blood Hunt #2, in my opinion, is the best Blood Hunt book so far. But this one definitely is right there behind it. So but yeah, y'all go get that. Go read it. The red band stuff, I'm not really buying that because even though it is graphic, because I got the red band edition, I didn't see anything that was just really.
Don't you like Blood and Gore?
I mean, it was okay, but it's not a whole lot of that in this book. Very good art, but I mean, it's not like it's just ridiculous. But I am looking forward to the Blade red band book that's gonna come, or the red band series is coming out in October. That's gonna be dope. That's a nice variant right there.
Yeah, they've got like, I don't know if anybody noticed all the different faces. I didn't grab them all, but it's really cool. The gore mouths, I guess.
Frustrated says he sucks that this event is about to be over. No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. That's just issue 4. You got another Black Panther book. You got and Paul. I brought this up on my show the other night, Sunday night. But remember, I asked a question in the chat about Hulk. There is a Hulk Blood Hunt book coming out. One shot. So
there is?
Yes. So it might tie in a little bit. All of those things that you and Mark were talking about. It's a possibility that some of that's gonna overlap. So, again, and you know what's weird though? Brother Voodoo or Dr. Voodoo is nowhere in this series.
Look.
So, he's got his kids.
I didn't want to mention this because
doing the work. Say again?
One of the things, beyond the fact, let's start with this. This is just a dope story.
It is.
With Black Comic Lords, above and beyond everything else, we love dope stories. And for too long, have we complained about the fact that at Marvel and DC, we're not getting dope stories anymore. We're getting regurgitated garbage, particularly when it comes to these big crossover events. This is a dope story. And then on top of all of that, you've got a top-notch artist, a class A1 artist in Pepe Larraz drawing the main Blood Hunt book. Tie-in books have artists too. But on top of all that, I just want to recognize, I want to keep this on the low. I don't want to say this too loud. Okay, it's just us. Right?
That's funny.
We got Cheryl Lynn Eaton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got Brian Edward Hill.
Yep. Yeah.
Cody Ziegler over on Miles Morales.
Yep.
You know, in the Blood Hunt story, main storybook, Hunter's Moon, Black Panther, Sam Wilson, Cap Falcon, Misty Knight over in Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep.
Miles Morales, Blade, Bloodline. Who am I missing?
You about got everybody. And
That's
you got, of course, Cap Falcon from the Avengers.
Yeah, I'd say that. So that's 7 Black heroes that actually have substantive roles in a crossover event.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Shit ain't never happened before.
It's okay. I gotta say though.
Too much about it in the look. Don't. This is not one of those instances where Paul's gonna go do the one trolling I do is against the big two. This is not that time. I am not gonna troll him on this because I want this on the low. I want this to succeed. I want it to keep being good and worthy of my dollars.
No, listen. If this sucked, the fanboys be all over this.
Right.
They ain't got
you would see it. They ain't saying nothing.
It's
they ain't saying nothing.
They have been wrong. They have been wrong on a lot of stuff lately. So y'all might want to tie that up over there. You know who we're talking about. But I will say this: the fanboys did get a I would say a bone. They got a bone in issue 4 of Blood Hunt with Dr. Doom.
Oh yeah.
Everybody forgot about Dr. Doom. Y'all just think Dr. Doom just y'all think Dr. Doom just chilling. But I'm telling you,
what the hell is Doom up to?
Man,
what the hell is Doom up to?
Bruh, he hit Stephen Strange with a request.
Doom, we require your assistance. The world is coming to end. We know you have the ability to help us out. So we're here, hat in hand. He's like, good. Yeah, I get it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I knew this was coming. So, I'll help you. It's going to cost you a little thing, but, what's going to cost? Wait, what? Woo! Doom is being Doom.
Yeah, Doom is like, I think everybody knows that things are going on in Latveria or whatever, that's the only place on the planet that has light. So it's like, he's in the background chilling or whatever. And so Stephen Strange, being who he is, he's like, okay, we got to go see Doom. He seems to be the only one that ain't on the planet suffering. All his people are safe. They go see him, and Doom is sitting on his throne, chilling like he does. And, I'll help you out, but, it ain't nothing for free. I almost kind of wish they would have made a nod to the Joker from the movie The Dark Knight, when the Joker goes to the gangsters and says, well, how are we going to rectify this? I'm kill the Batman. He said, well, why haven't you done it? He said, when you're good at something, you don't do it for free.
Right.
And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this is going to happen, but if it do, it's going to be an interesting fall. That's all I'm going to say. And of course, Stephen Strange is not in his physical body. he's his astral projection.
Right.
So he's
Right.
literally having to do this at a disadvantage. He's really not in a place to say no, because it don't look good for everybody.
Yeah.
And Blade ain't playing. That's all I'm gonna say. Blade is not playing. So, man, I tell you, this has been a dope crossover tie-in, whatever you want to call it, major event. And frustrated say, man, it's almost about to be over. I'm like, man, we got about 20 more books to go. This is far from over.
We got quite a bit more to go.
So yeah. So issue 5 will be it's gonna be a minute before we get issue 5, but you're gonna have a lot of other books. You have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 3 that's got to come out. You got another Wolverine book that's got to come out. You got the one shot with Hulk, like I said earlier. You have another what is it? Midnight Suns book. Matter of fact, Midnight Suns issue 2 came out today as well. That was fire. And yeah. Frustration. Is Doom gonna ask for vibranium? Oh no. Oh no.
Moon Knight's book came out today as
No.
It's a
No,
tie.
he ain't asked for no. He asked for something better. Now, speaking of Moon Knight, there is a Moon Knight blood book that came out today.
Spoilers.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
It's just let people know that has a tie-in that came out today.
The fists of Khonshu roll deep today. They in the building. This was a pretty good. Listen, the Black Panther book that Paul and Mark talked about the other night on their show, that was basically the whole show. It was so much to that issue that it took a whole show to do it. We can literally do a whole show on the Blood Hunt issue 4.
On that show, I have no regrets.
But you know what? Shout out to the Black Panther fans. You Bammers is eating. Y'all eating for real. I'm gonna go on. I gotta tell it. Okay. So you're going to T'Challa is fixing to be in the Avengers book fighting aliens. So the Avengers versus aliens is coming out, right? Yeah. You got that. But no, T'Challa is pulling double duty. He's not only fighting the aliens, he is going to be fighting the Predator in his own book, his own limited series. Okay?
It's almost like there's a change in Marvel editorial, and all of a sudden, things are looking better over at Marvel.
All I can say is y'all got a lot of books. Y'all got a lot of books.
Shout out to Tom Brevoort.
LP Art Spot.
First time here in the chat. Love your content. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Great to have you.
Well, hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel, LT. That way you'll know when we come on again, because we do this every week.
Oh, now, Mr. DC Comics, we're gonna get to Mandawala in a minute. Oh,
all right, let's jump into the other books. For some reason, that did not pop up in our. One last comment about this Blood Hunt book. Rich mentioned this before. If you have the opportunity before you read it, pick up or read this book, Blade Vampire Hunter, number 5. Because that will is a bit of an Easter egg from Blood Hunt 4 from this book. Excuse me.
Yeah, man. All this right. is ooh, Lord.
Let's go back to our handy dandy list.
Hey, Paul, one quick thing.
What's in that?
What? Was this Mario Gully that was also in the chat earlier tonight? OMG, the artist.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, great to have you here. Great to have you. Thank you for joining.
Absolute power.
Angel just held up this book.
Oh yeah, man.
And I can't find that.
Petting the alien. She's showing affection. I don't think
I
that's
can't.
normal.
I can't pull it up. Angel, pull up that book you had before. There it is. All right. So let me explain. Because you haven't read this yet, have you, Angel?
No, I haven't gotten a chance to read
All right. So
anything
this
yet.
absolute power zero is it's a group of short stories, all setting up different aspects of Amanda Waller's rise to power and her big plan. You really understand that cover is significant. You pointed out something significant, Angel, where you said, I
She's
can't believe
showing
she's showing
affection.
affection. So
Yeah.
that character you see on the left is a version of Failsafe. If you've been reading the Batman books.
No, that's not Failsafe. That's Brainiac.
Let me finish.
Okay.
That character is a version of Failsafe that has been merged with Brainiac. So the more significant cover is the one that you see. Damn it, they don't have it here either. All right. There's one cover where you see Brainiac, Failsafe, and Amanda Waller. And you're like, why are the three of them on the cover? Because the three of them have been merged into that entity you see on the cover of that book. It's a slight spoiler, but it's not a big spoiler. The point is, Amanda Waller raised that character for all intents and purposes, without being a spoiler. She's raised it over 20 years into the machine that's going to be at the heart of her plans for global domination. So there are a lot of little short stories in that Absolute Power Zero book, which sets up what's going to happen in Absolute Power. I'm here for it only for the Amanda Waller part because I love Amanda Waller and she's a dope character.
Yes,
I
I love
personally plan on
Amanda.
focusing on getting the Amanda Waller, the Absolute Power Origins book, which I think comes out next week. If I'm not mistaken.
July, something in July.
Yeah, so next couple of weeks. Absolute Power Origins, it's the retelling of Amanda Waller's origin story, which hasn't been redone in a while. And I'm gonna get that in the main Absolute Power book, and that's it. I'm not getting any of the other tie-ins. Quite honestly, DC got swamped by Marvel's Blood Hunt. I mean, it's gonna suffer because Blood Hunt is just that good.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't think that's the case. I think really DC kind of held back because they knew Blood Hunt was going to hit the first part of summer, and so now we're almost on the end part, or 2/3 of the Blood Hunt series is over. So they're getting ready to start their series. But it's the thing about the Absolute Power tie-in is that it's not as long. It's only like 15, 16 books.
Yeah,
so it's not a big thing. I think that it's going to be pretty good because, again, you got to know your characters, particularly those of you that read Batman. You know about Failsafe. Failsafe basically is if Batman was the Terminator. Yeah. So the last thing you want is a Batman thinking cyborg running around. They killed Failsafe. Amanda Waller has managed to bring him back. And what they did was download some of his technology or some of his data into that Brainiac that you see. And without giving it away as far as the book goes, Amanda Waller had to spend time, like you said, it looked like it was 20 years, but actually it was 20 hours. But the way all that information downloaded into that.
Come on, bro, you can get
it's geeky stuff. That ain't really spoiling
that part out.
They gonna get the book.
Come on, man.
But no, all I'm saying is that don't miss the DC stuff. The DC stuff is going to be amazing. As far as the crossovers, I'm gonna get I read Batman, so I'm gonna get the Batman books. I'm not sure about anything else, but you know, should be good. Should be good. There's some origin stuff that's going. It's like 3 origin books that are coming out as well.
Speaking of spoilers, Dr. Wizard, do not put frustrated fans comment on the screen. That's a massive spoiler. Shame on you, sir.
That's funny. I'm not giving it all away.
Mr. DC Comics asked, oh wait, Vagrants asked, we need more BCL shows where they give plot breakdowns like the other comic channels. Still looking forward to the next Wakanda and Whiskey show. Okay.
Let me say something about that. Let me tell you something, Vagrant. Let me just say something about this. Paul's show is styled the way it's styled. Because it is
just 2 guys drinking liquor and talking shit.
Yeah, but you guys, y'all don't mind doing the deep dives, whatever. I ain't got time to break down the metaphysical and scientific and yeah. Listen, the other night y'all watched that show. They did 1 comic book. They talked about John Stewart and maybe 1 other book, but the majority of that conversation was the Blood Hunt Black Panther book. And they got off on tangents. They start talking about pantheons and different books that you and I can't even go get, can even dream about getting, go have to pay $100 to get it if you want it. Stuff like that. I am, you know, look, it's a good book, go get it. It's a terrible book, save your money. That's what you're gonna get with Rich. I ain't got time to tell you why the book is good. I ain't got time to tell you why the book sucks. What I will tell you is that if you want deep dives, watch Wakanda Whiskey. See, you can do that when you're drinking liquor and you're knocking them back. You can think deep or whatever. I can't do this sober. I could never do this. The stuff that Paul does, I would need.
Come on, man.
I would need a couple of shots or something to get me through it. Like, man, it's just too much. It's too much. My brain is I got a scatterbrain, bro. Let's move on. But anyway, no, for real talk though, I do definitely get the sentiment, Vagrant, but it's just that takes a lot, man. I mean, there are channels like shout out to Comic Historian, who just passed, I believe. Who did those kind of things, man. Those things are necessary, but it takes a lot. Don't get it twisted. It takes a lot of content and time to break down these books. We're more than capable at Black Comic Lords, and look, Vagrant. It would be great. It would, all due respect to Rich, it would be great for the channel. And listen, it would be. But look, I can't be all things to all people. So Vagrant, I'm gonna recruit you. How about you join with the squad and you can do those type of things?
Right.
And in the immortal words of John F. Kennedy, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Or in this case, don't ask BCL to do what you can do. You do it for BCL.
You do it.
But no, shout out to Baker, man. I get what you're saying. We definitely will take that into consideration. We are actively recruiting. We actively recruiting. We are doing that. So, if y'all want to get on, listen, we just some dudes and some gals that like to talk about comic books. I can't wait to talk about Acolyte. That's what I want to talk about. Because I've been sleeping until episode 5.
Well, we'll get into that, because I've been telling you, no one listens to me. It's frustrating, Vagrant, because I appreciate the fact that you appreciate my deep dives, but at the end of the day, nobody listens to me. So
it's not true. That is not true.
Now you're just making up stuff.
Really?
No one listens to me. I've been telling y'all about how good Star Wars.
Black Panther.
Let it cook.
Oh yeah. Issue.
I know where it's going.
Black Panther issue 21, volume
3,
4 or 3? Yeah, volume 3. Yeah.
When Black Panther, Dr. Voodoo, Luke Cage, and Monica Rambeau all went down to Louisiana and fought vampires. And we found out who the greatest vampire killer of all time is. Maybe second after Doctor Strange and his Montesi formula, which wiped out all vampires. Number 2, second greatest vampire hunter of all time, Monica Rambeau, which is not in Blood Hunt, by the way, for that very reason.
Which is
The
strange.
Blood Hunt wouldn't have gotten past issue 1. Next
one. You know what? Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question about Blood Hunt. Okay, so all of this is basically being the people who have dark force energy are responsible or being manipulated. I'm trying to figure out how they're going to deal with them, because they have not dealt with them. Because we have not seen Cloak and others who kind of started
their bodies got taken over and their powers used to cloak the sky. I mean, once I guess the big bad is defeated, they'll go back to normal. It was the assumption.
We'll see. Jay asked the question. He said, "Did y'all see the Philadelphia 36 cover A?" We're still waiting on Philadelphia issue 35.
Right.
Yeah,
Mr. Barnes,
the big crossover, man.
We waiting on that. And he says Janet Gabbard is getting a solo number 1. Okay. I've not seen those, to be honest. I've been getting so much good stuff. I hadn't even thought about Philadelphia, to be honest. I know it's coming, but I had not been tripping about it because, like I said, the Blood Hunt has been pretty good. So, yeah. So what else came out? Anything else?
Yeah, a couple other books.
Yeah.
A couple of the books you might have heard of. King Spawn came out. And I believe, was that the one with Jason Sean Alexander doing the art? Am I got that mistaken?
Yes, the one. Matter of fact, I posted in our space the first page of that book. Jason Sean Alexander.
It's Jason Sean Alexander.
Yeah. And Nunez is coloring. That was amazing. Let me see if I can pull it, if I can grab my yeah. Check this out. Make me big, Derek, if you don't mind.
Here's the cover right here.
Yeah, that's the cover of it.
I love the fact that when you have an artist that's truly talented, you can immediately tell just by looking at their art who the art is done by. Jason Sean Alexander is one of those cats. I don't even have to read the caption to know that this is his cover.
For the longest, we thought Jason Sean Alexander was a black dude. Because he knows how to
you don't normally see someone draw like that. I think we have already declared that he gets late.
Yo, I will say this about Jason Sean Alexander. The talent that dude has is amazing. He also did that cover too. Rodney Barnes. Let me just ask you, because I was thinking about this earlier, Paul. So we've had Jonathan Hickman and Sanford Green, right? We got Rodney Barnes, Jason Sean Alexander. Who else, black and white teams, that have we seen? What interracial duo is making magic? Ebony and Ivory. I'm just wondering who else is. Because hey, look. Oh, I know Scott Snyder and Jamal Igle when they did the Dotson book.
Yeah,
Dudley Dotson and the Forever Machine. So, the cream and the coffee can coexist, y'all. Maybe we need to recruit us a white person, Paul. It's time for Black Comic Lords to put some cream in the coffee.
On that note, I think it's time for a commercial break. Mr. Producer, are you even paying attention? I mean, you're not hitting any disclaimers, nothing?
Oh,
Come on, man.
I'm enjoying everything here.
You enjoy. You're gonna lose half of our readership.
Hey, look, we listen. Ain't nothing wrong with having a white man or a white woman next to you. History has shown us that.
Yeah, Kanye will attest to that. So will Jonathan Majors.
Oh.
Hey, speaking of that, I've been rewatching Loki. Man, Jonathan Majors, boy, you blew the bag. You blew the bag, son.
He didn't even do anything. He ran away. He got in trouble still.
Life in America.
All right, going back to the Blood Hunt story, we also got Midnight Suns Blood Hunt #2, cover art by our man Ken Lashley, written by our boy Mr. Brian Edward Hill.
Man, look at that Scotty Young. That Scotty Young cover is nice.
Well, let's check out these
Yeah,
covers.
I
Let's
almost
pull.
got it today, but
So here's the Ken Lashley cover. Johnny Blaze and Dana Ketch, who no one cares about.
Yep. We got a
Here's your
super
Scott.
chat. Yep.
This is dope.
Yeah, it is.
Who did this one? Declan Shalvey. And if you look over here to the right, you see this character. I haven't read this book yet, but I recognize this character from the previous Midnight Suns and Darkhold runs. This sorceress woman. I can't remember her name right now. But this Scotty Young cover's dope.
Yeah, man. I gotta find that. I didn't have any in my shop today, but I'm gonna hunt that down. We got a super chat.
Well, I'm sure I got it.
thank you.
Oh, big.
Oh, big. Thank you again. Super chat regular.
Bo Big. Bo Big, I was just thinking about you. You've been a regular super chat giver on this channel, supporter of this channel. I want to give you something personally as a thank you for all your support. Email the Black Comic Lords Gmail account, blackcomiclords@gmail.com, and I want to send you something special.
That's what's up.
That's
just as a thank you.
Manifesto says Kang needed his Coretta. He married her. So yeah.
Kang needed his Coretta. Oh Lord, I'm still laughing at that. All right. Where was I? Finishing up these books of the week. Let's pull this back up.
Also, Johnny.
We also had Rat City. And can we discuss what Rat City really is? It's Spawn 2099.
It is. It's dope too.
Yeah,
it is literally Spawn 2099.
Mm-hmm.
And I dig it because I mean I was just happy to just see the black character with his own title. I would prefer it if it was not called Rat City and they just simply called Spawn 2099 or something else. But yeah.
He didn't want that Marvel smoke. He didn't have enough
No,
smoke.
Disney would have came down hard and wiped them out. No.
Well, call it Future Spawn. I mean, you got Medieval Spawn, you got Gunslinger Spawn. Why can't he be Future Spawn?
It's Rat City.
Charles got an issue.
It's rats.
Did Todd McFarlane evolve or apologize for throwing shade at Milestone in the 90s? Because I haven't messed with Spawn since 97. I don't know if he's ever threw shade at Milestone. I've never heard anything. That's kind of new to me. Maybe you guys know. I have not never heard that.
I've never heard of that before.
I don't know that.
You know, it was listen, here's the truth. A lot of people threw a lot of shade at Milestone. Black and white, if we're going to be honest. I got the receipts called magazines.
Yep.
And there were a lot of people dissing Milestone. It is what it is. But as far as him evolving or whatever, I don't really know. I can't say that only because I think Todd McFarlane has always been a comic head. He's looked out for the comic book community. And the reason why I can say that is because his books are $2.99.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're all $2.99. The book that Paul just talked about, that Rat City, issue 3, it's $2.99. All his comics have been $2.99. The only time that they're $3.99 or $4.99 is when there's the number 1 and it's a special variant. Other than that, his books are $2.99.
He's been loyal to the fans. That's
yes,
for sure.
Because he makes his money not on comics. He makes his money on toys.
I love them too.
He knows how to get his bread. So, yeah.
August 1997 issue of the Source magazine, when the Spawn movie came out, Todd was basically on some milestone and some Bash Whitey books. I've never heard of that before.
What? Source magazine. I'm trying to remember.
No, what?
What?
Listen, I know who ran the Source, and all I'm gonna say is, all of us. That's not a good. The Source is not a good source.
Yeah, I don't think that was real if it was in there, because just nah.
AKA the Sauce.
Huh? What'd you say? What'd you say, Paul?
I said AKA the Sauce.
Yeah. The Source was. Listen, if somebody writes a book about the Source, I will be. It would not surprise me. A lot of the dirt that came out about the Source has already come out, so it's really no need to write a book. But they definitely were biased, and had some issues, But as far as the what Hype Style is saying, I don't know.
Hype Style says, regular time 97, he was on some Spawn is the right way to do a black superhero. And Milestone was on some anti-white-ish. It was straight ignorant. Huh. The right way to do a black superhero.
I don't know that is the proper term.
I mean, look. Now, I will say this. I don't think that well, we know we all read the Milestone books. We know that the Milestone books were not anti-white. So that really has no quote unquote credibility, except to say that, if he felt some type of way about Milestone, it probably was more personal. These guys all know each other in the industry and that kind of thing. When they started,
very small world in New York
very
City.
small world. And when Milestone started, the Image crew, Tom McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, who else? Jim Valentino, Paul?
Jim Valentino, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson.
They were all doing the same thing at the same time. And it was a running joke because apparently they went to a con and they were all in T-shirts and jeans talking about the Image guys, and the Milestone brothers, they showed up in suits. Right. They knew that they had to do things for people to take them serious.
Right.
And they had a good 3 to 4 year run. They sold 10 million comic books. That ain't all black folks.
Nope.
So we have to say allegedly with that when it comes to Tom McFarlane, because I never heard that before. So Hype Style, it might be true, it might not be true. I've never heard it, so I can't give it credence, respectfully. If he did say it, it is what it is. It's 30 years later, it's under the water. Tom, if I was just wanting to diss Tom McFarlane, it wouldn't be for that. There's a lot of other stuff that Tom McFarlane has said and done that warrants me not buying his comic books. But I've never heard that about the situation with Milestone.
Well, all right. So finishing up our books of the week, Spectacular Spider-Man #4, Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures Saber for Hire #3. If you're into Star Wars and you're watching the Acolyte series, we'll talk about in a sec. This book takes place in that High Republic time, hundreds of years before the original first Star Wars movie. Ultimate Black Panther 5, Vengeance of Moon Knight #6. Yes, I passed over it. Vengeance of Moon Knight #6. Angel, you mentioned this book.
Yeah, see, it's a Bud Hunt tie-in.
Did you read it yet?
No.
That's all right. You mentioned it. I didn't know if there was anything significant that happened in that issue.
No, I haven't.
Listen, I don't know what happened in that book, but the fist, the Khonshu was in Blood Hunt 4. In full force.
Just keep giving all the spoilers.
I'm just saying, bro.
Oh man, just can't stop. You can't help yourself.
All I said that he was in the book. That's all I said.
I will say this: Jed McKay is the writer of the Blood Hunt series. He's also the writer of Moon Knight, this Vengeance of Moon Knight book. This particular Vengeance of Moon Knight book is going to center around the Midnight Mission, which consists mostly of Hunter's Moon, Tigra, Soldier, which is a vampire, and a young black woman by the name of, I can't remember her name, but she's also a vampire. But they're good vampires, and they're fighting against the hordes that are coming from the Blood Hunt. That's the extent of my knowledge of this particular issue. But I skipped over Ultimate Black Panther #5. Now, Blood Hunt #4 was so good. One might accidentally skip over Ultimate Black Panther 5.
Ruh-roh.
This book was not an action issue. It was
a filler.
There was no action in this book. But there was story development. Understand, this is an Ultimate book. And if you weren't familiar with the Ultimate runs from back in the early 2000s, you may not appreciate this is a completely different universe. It is a reimagining of the Marvel universe. And in this regard, it's a reimagining of the Wakandaverse. And there's an interesting development in this particular book that is starkly different than what we know of from the 616 universe version of Wakanda. The origins of Wakanda is different in this book. And they talk about that a little bit here. So that's a major development. Another thing that was kind of cool in this particular story was seeing T'Challa be what he has not been portrayed on in the MCU as, which is smart. T'Challa's a genius.
Yes.
With multiple PhDs. And you finally get to see that in this issue. It was a nice reminder of who this man is. Master scientist, master strategist. You get to see that in this book. So that was kind of cool. You got to see a better version of Shuri than what we have in the 616 universe. When I say better, I mean it is a good balance between the Shuri that was introduced by Reggie Hudlin and the Shuri that we presently have, who is the scientific genius subsequent to the MCU. They took those two Shuris and merged them. Brian Edward Hill took those two Shuris and merged them into one person. So you have someone who's a warrior, who's a fierce, who's a hothead, but is also a genius in the same regard. She's the best of both worlds. This is the best version of Shuri we've ever had. This is better than the Shuri that we have in the 616 universe. That's facts. So I've enjoyed that aspect of it. Brian Edward Hill's doing some excellent world building between him. It's a race now between who should be given the regular Black Panther series, Cheryl Lynn Eaton or Brian Edward Hill at this point. I'd be happy with either one of them at this point. They're writing on both those books is phenomenal. So those are our reads of the week.
So a manifesto says, he asked a question, y'all fell off at Mace Windu, and Gordon Mahan replied and said Mace Windu is finished. Of course it is. It was a short series. It took a minute for them to get to the last issue. But yeah. That Gotcha Man is that the Dennis Cowan?
Let's blow up Angel right there.
This is
or Chuck Brown?
This is Sanford Green.
Sanford Green, okay.
Yeah.
Did that come out already, Angel? Or did you get one of your early copies?
This I don't think
no,
this
that came out today.
That came out today.
That came out today?
Yeah.
Ah man, I'm mad I don't have that cover.
It is just brilliant. The purples and the grays at the bottom.
I gotta call up Blackbird and see if they have any more extra copies.
Oh, I didn't see it at Blackbird, I'll tell you that much.
Where'd you get it?
The other one in Longwood.
Oh, that one. All right, fine.
Yep.
See if they can have it, because that was
there was some left over there.
So
But yeah, G-Force being done by Stanford Green cover. Just for the cover alone, I'd get it just for that because I love
That's
G-Force.
all I got it for because it was Sanford Green. I mean, you can't miss his stuff. Like, you know, it's his.
I love G-Force. It's one of my favorite animes of all time.
speaking of the Force,
Yeah, I grew up
Let's get
watching
into
it.
it. Let's do a commercial break and we'll come back because I get some water. Can we do that, Mr. Producer?
Yeah,
Are
sure.
you awake?
I'm awake. Here we go.
This is Derek Harrison of Black Comic Lords, and I'm here with Greg Burnham. You might know him from Tuskegee Airs. He's got several other titles, and this is a new one that's coming out in November.
November 22nd, Little Rock Files. It was a story that we originally did in Noir is the New Black, which is an awesome anthology y'all need to get if you don't have it. But we did a 6-pager in there, and we ended up getting asked to do a full book. So the interiors, I'm holding this one. These are 2 of the covers. The interiors are being done by Quinn McGowan, who did this book. Who did this poster cover. And then Marcus Williams, my co-creator on Tuskegee Airs, he did the art for this cover. And we also put like our original 6 pages in the book, just so you can have everything that we've done so far. It's a 1980s noir detective story that takes place in Little Rock, Arkansas. We actually put some reference some real things that were going on back in the time as far as the drug trade and dirty governors that turned into presidents, but that's a different story. So yeah, check it out, November 22nd. It will be in comic shops. If your shop didn't order it originally, get in there and ask them to get you a copy. We're trying to do some really good stuff with this book, and we appreciate you.
What's good, Comic Fam? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Concrete Comics, and I'm also pretty sure you guys are familiar with Freestyle Comics. Well, what if I told you they were partnering together and give you guys an amazing promo code? So listen, here's the deal. You go to any one of these websites, you're going to save 20% off by using this promo code. Now, if you spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. You can't beat this. And when I talk to you about industry standard or better storylines and art, I mean, you're really not beating Freestyle Comics. You're definitely not beating Concrete Comics. Listen, this is not a sponsorship. I've literally read all of these books, and they're fire. So stop crying and start buying. Concrete Comics, Freestyle Comics, joining forces. Make sure you use this promo code. You're going to get 20% off. You spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. We out.
Yo.
It's the Angel Show.
Yay!
What up, Angel?
Send me comics. What about your shirt? People are gonna ask about this Wakanda shirt.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. So I'll tell you about it and where I got it from. I think Gordon asked the question where to get the Wakanda football jersey. Let me share a link. Hold on a second. So if you're interested, you can just follow this link that I just put into the chat. Vibranium Vibes, and just click on that link, and you can find soccer jerseys, other Wakanda-styled clothing as well. So, I've got this. I've got a few other shirts from them. Good quality, good look as well. I know Paul.
Can you pull up
a little bit of it
website, Derek?
Yeah. I'll pull that up.
If your Macintosh computer can handle
it. Now you're just poking fun.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog is scratching at my door, so I'm having a hard time concentrating here. All right, here we go.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, they got some good stuff.
How much is the discount, Derek?
I don't
shipping
know.
it
I don't
to me?
think there's I don't know if there's a discount with this code or not. I'm still checking on that. So but you got a lot of styles on here. Wu-Tang, Wakanda soccer jersey. This is a new one. Wakanda Motorsports. Wakanda All Stars. So yeah,
I need
check out
that
the
soccer
site.
jersey.
Yeah, click on the link. It's like nice soccer jersey. Good
You don't
stuff.
want
Good
you
stuff.
don't want T'Challa 23. You want T'Challa 66, the year the character came out.
There you go. There you go. And I also got the let's see, got the Black Comic Lords on the back. I don't know if you can see this.
What? Derek, turn
Yep.
around and show that again.
Yeah, that's fire right
Make
there.
yourself big. Hold on, let me
shoot.
make Derek.
Hold on. Okay, you do it.
Let me get Derek here.
Oh,
Look
see,
at that.
that's what's up.
Panthers, Black Comic Lord 66. Yo! I have to emulate that. I need that exact shirt.
There you go, Gordon.
I hope it comes with triple
Absolutely.
extra medium.
Speaking of 66, Order 66, Star Wars.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Rich
worst order.
has been jumping to talk about Star Wars Acolyte. So I've been telling him it's gonna get good. He's like, "Oh, this show's boring, bro. This ain't Star Wars."
Listen, I will say this: it has been a snooze fest. I ain't backing away from that. We finally get to issue 4, episode 5, and we get to probably the best, one of the best lightsaber battles ever. They should be saluted.
Name me a lightsaber battle that was better than that one. I'll wait.
Here's the deal, though. They did their thing as far as the lightsaber battles. Besides that, though, I went back to sleep. Let me stop fighting.
You need to stop watching those episodes late at night, bro.
Bruh, no. I've stayed up and watched the episodes. I didn't like the way episode 4 ended. And so when we got to episode 5, right, it was very anticlimactic in a way. And then you get all of these, and the dude kills most of the people in the cast. Ain't nobody left in the cast.
They real over here, man. People complain. Look,
they decided to go Game of Thrones on everybody, kill everybody.
All these so-called Star Wars fans can't decide what they want. Star Wars is too kiddie. I hate the Ewoks. It's too much for kids. I wish it was more serious like the original. Then it's like Star Wars killing people left and right. That's not Star Wars. Or Star Wars don't have no black people in it. Or now Star Wars has too many black people in it. Star Wars don't have any women with prominent roles.
I've never said that. I said the story is snooze fest. The story could, Paul, as well as I do, this story could be so much better than what we've been given. It's just another Disney show at this point. Now, like I said, episode 5 it's the best episode we have seen. I don't dispute that. And that's all because of the action that we got. What?
Richard, I'll say this. I'll say the same thing I've been saying all along. When you asked me, is this a good show? What is the answer I gave you? I said, if you are a serious, hardcore Star Wars fan, it is a good show. Otherwise, it may not be for you. From a serious, hardcore Star Wars fan, you know what I see when I see the show? I see them introducing the concept that the Force is not about Sith and Jedi. It's not about light and dark. It's a concept that has been throughout all of Star Wars from the very beginning when you look at it. The concept that they've introduced, in essence, the Night Sisters, which were Force practitioners who use, quote unquote, the dark side of the Force. That has now been canonized in the regular Star Wars continuity. The fact that they've introduced the concept of the dyad in the Force, again, tied that into Darth Plagueis, who talks about how he's used the dark side of the Force to create life, which is what these Night Sisters did when they created this dyad, which ties back to the Rise of Skywalker movie. And you're talking about, how was Anakin created? It ties back to that as well.
Yeah.
All this stuff is tied together. If you're looking at the series and not saying, well, where's the action? And you're listening to what's going on here, and you're thinking about the entire Star Wars mythos, and you're seeing the Easter eggs and the tie-ins to Star Wars lore throughout the whole thing. It's all tied together. They're tying it all together.
Just because you tie it together, Paul, I could tie a shoestring to a Mack truck.
Oh, geez.
That don't make it a tow truck.
Sometimes there are some people.
Yes, they supposed to do that. They get no props for tying things together. Whatever. That does not excuse them from telling a good story.
Sometimes people will walk into a steakhouse and order a porterhouse. Some people like to walk into a steakhouse and order a hamburger. It's not for everybody.
I said that this show, it is just another show.
Okay.
Even if they introduced all of this stuff, right? Because this is literally hundreds of years before A New Hope and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get the sentiment. I get them introducing this, that, and the third, or whatever. All of this information that you're talking about, Paul, it's great to see it, but I need them to execute a better story. What do I look like, Paul? I'm telling you a story, right? Now, Angel, I want you to listen to this.
I'm listening.
Now, when we grew up in the hood, right?
Yeah.
And you grew up in the hood listening to cats tell stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are certain ways that a cat will tell a story, and you hear everything that dude or what she says. You get the whole gist of the story. A 5-minute conversation that it might have been over a 5-hour span. Somebody could tell you a story in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that when they tell this story, the execution has to be better. The writing in this story has not done the actors any favors. I stand by that. Amanda Stenberg is a great actress, but she looks very stiff in these twin roles. I can't listen. You can't tell me, Paul. They sitting at the table, at the writer's table, or at the reading table, and they're acting this out across the. If I'm in the room, I'm laughing because it's really you're forcing a lot of stuff, and it doesn't flow. It needs to be able to flow. Now I get the
give me an example of something that you feel is forced.
Okay, going back to the quote unquote witches or whatever, right? We know all we get is these twin girls raised by these women on this island or whatever they is. Okay, the Jedi show up. We don't know why exactly that Jedi quote unquote shows up. They feel certain things, whatever, but they can't detect the Sith. They can't detect the Sith Lord. They in the presence of the actual dude, but nobody. The Sith is that blind. I mean, the Jedi are that blind. The best character in this story, in my opinion, is the Jedi. What's his name?
Saul.
He's the best Jedi in this series, whatever. And I like the other Jedi, the one that was she got man, old boy did her bad that last fighting scene. She hit her with 3 holes in her chest. I'm like, golly, that was deadly. But all the other actors or whatever, they don't really have a story that we can follow. They just kind of there for the ride. Like the one brother that had the Killmonger dreads or whatever.
Yord.
He like the company dude. He like the company do. He following everything by the guidelines or whatever. Soul is trying to reel him in and try.
Where you see where you see a company dude as you what did the person say? Southern colloquialisms. Where you see a company dude, I see the manifestation as to what ultimately causes the Jedi to fail and causes their downfall, which is their dogmatic use of rules to control how they control the Force. The whole theme
what did they have to do though, Paul?
I let you go on your southern tirade for 10 minutes. You finish.
Okay. All right.
So the Force, the whole point of this series is redefining how people view the Force. Every little kid can say, I'm a Jedi, I'm a Sith, and that's it. And it's always been about more than that. It has not been the dogma of, they've said it from the very beginning. Why is it that you don't like the Jedi? The Jedi are the real criminals. The Jedi are the real bad guys. The Jedis are highly dogmatic. Yoda said, boy, back in the day, we didn't have all these rules and dogma that held us back. You got Qui-Gon Jinn saying, you got Obi-Wan Kenobi telling Qui-Gon Jinn, why is it that you're always focusing on, you're always bucking the system and not following the rules of the Jedi Council? He's like, look, I follow the living Force, which is what the same thing these witches said, which is what the same thing the Master said. Why? Because that's the whole point. That's the whole point of Star Wars. It's the whole point of exploring what the Force is and defining that it's not about light and dark. It's not about Sith and Jedi. It's about life. And life is not as simple as black and white. Life is life. And and it's about finding a balance in that life. And ultimately the show is going to show you that balance is where it goes. If you go to the subsequent series with Rey and Luke Skywalker, where they go to the planet and they go into the temple, and you see the little thing you see the mural on the floor, and it looks like a half dark Jedi and half light Jedi. Why do you think that Easter egg is there? Because it's talking about that concept that it's not about Sith and Jedi, it's about balance of the Force. They've always talked about the balance of the Force and how Anakin was supposed to be the chosen one. Why? Because he was supposed to bring balance to the Force. And how did he do that? He killed a whole bunch of Jedi, right? And he killed the Sith Lord. He ultimately did bring balance to the Force, but just not in the way that people suspected. That is the theme that Star Wars is all about. And it's a lot bigger than, I didn't see enough space battles. I didn't see enough battles.
I will say to that, this is what I would say. That the reason why the Jedi are dogmatic about what they're doing and why they police the whole galaxy or whatever, and why they don't want certain people using the Force is because if you go back into the Star Wars lore and you go back and you read some of the Darth Bane books, okay, when you read that stuff or whatever and see what the Sith were capable of doing, when
the
they're
Sith
unchecked, when they're unchecked,
coming out with the rule of two.
Exactly. He literally exploded a mind bomb and killed all the Sith. This is what Darth Bane did. So it's the Jedi's like, look, we can't.
Rich, how do you tell that story? How do you tell that story without telling this story first? You have to educate people on the concept of what the Force is and is not before you can tell the story of Darth Bane, before you can go into the Star Wars Old Republic stories, which are at the beginning of the High Republic, if not before it. You can't even get to that until you tell this story and explain what the Force is to people.
I think y'all are arguing two different points. I think Rich is just not impressed on how the story is told, and it has nothing to do with the context and the depth that it's opening up the two-dimensional to a three-dimensional concept of the Force. So those are two different things. Y'all both right. Let's go on.
Message.
Oh, now Dr. Wizard has his finger on the meme button. Have you woken up, sir?
Now, see, now Smooth the Pro
2
says,
hours,
stop with the Star
2.5
Wars
hours later, he finally decides, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do my producer job.
Well, I will say, have you watched House of Dragon yet? So far yet, Pop?
Of course.
Okay. Now,
I actually think House of Dragons is better than Game of Thrones. In many respects. Oh, certainly
all I know
certainly
is
the later
that they are, man, that is a disgusting show. It's good, but it's disgusting. I mean, literally, they killed a baby.
Yeah.
In this show.
Yeah, and did sound effects so you could hear it. The sound effects of him killing the baby, that was disturbing.
That was very disturbing. And then what's so funny is, oh boy, the knight, the quote unquote honorable knight. This Bama, he can't keep his lips certain places.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. See, I was trying to avoid bringing this subject up because it would go quickly down the rabbit hole. But I will say this.
He was not where he was supposed to be.
Bro.
Literally.
Without going into detail, because I don't want us to get tagged by YouTube.
Please don't.
For what he did, understand this is medieval era times and people didn't bathe that often. And the bath occurred after. The bath
I need a bath.
The bath occurred after that scene. That was disturbing.
So, and then he turns around and sends one of the fellow knights, one of the loyal knights. You got to make this right. When he the one that's really responsible. So
plans within schemes. That's what makes Game of Thrones.
This old boy to fight his own brother. His brother kills him, right? And all this. I mean, this is going to be a crazy season.
Yeah,
they not but 2 episodes in, and it's already disgusting.
It's right. This is only the 2nd episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They accomplished a lot in those 2 episodes.
I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, they haven't even started yet, and we hadn't even really dealt with the sea snake, the Valerians, the black people in the Game of Thrones. They've been kind of chilling.
Yeah. Them thrones, baby, them thrones.
So shout out to all y'all that's watching that disgusting stuff on Sunday night.
That Rich just went into explicit detail on.
I mean, bruh, dude, I'm like, God, dog, man. I mean, look, I know it. There was no deodorant, no soap,
no grease,
no Massagil.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to HBO Max. Speaking of HBO Max, we did get the news that they have Green Light,
Green Lantern,
live action Green Lantern series. So that's coming to Max pretty soon. So I'm looking forward.
It's going to be called Lanterns, is it?
Yes.
Is it Lanterns? It's called.
What's it? Heckle, whatever his name is from. He had that TV series for a long time. He's going to be a Green Lantern. I can't think of it. Jason Hakel or whatever his name is.
Cool.
Hey, can we talk about the?
You got to talk about the Superman costume.
Oh.
Well, I wasn't talking about the Superman costume, but I wanted to talk about Mr. Terrific.
Well, that's what I mean. They're both the same.
Why? Listen, PSA, public service announcement. Dear white people, dear James Gunn, it's okay to like have.
First of all, the minute Rich says "dear white people," our producer should already be having a disclaimer on this man. I'm gonna fire you.
Sorry about that. Anyway,
find the picture, Derek. Please.
Can we get a character Can we get a black man character with a fade? If he gonna have hair on his head, can we get a bruh with a fade? That Afro.
My man's fro looked dry and looked like it needed touch up.
No Afro sheen on that.
No sheen whatsoever. Obviously, they did not have the local barbershop on hand to touch up my man's hair. I don't know if it was a prosthetic wig that was just dry and ashy.
That was a Steve Harvey.
But I mean, they couldn't say, "Yo, my man couldn't say, look, I got my local barber. He has to have a check and he has to be on set."
They would have just fired him. Let's not pretend that speaking up
saying,
about our
man.
hair is allowed, because it's not.
Man, I just need a brother to look good.
I'm hoping that they were just in a fight and maybe it's just like sand and dust from them fighting.
His hair was not combed.
It was messy, right?
Yeah. Anybody have an Afro pick? Anybody have an Afro pick nowhere else on set?
His appointment for the barber was the next day, is what we saw. The smartest man in the world, you think, would be smart enough to make sure he keeps a pick in one of those pockets in his jacket. So you fight the bad guy, you pick it out. If you go look, any of us that have had a fro back in the day know, Rich, have you ever had a fro?
Yes, sir.
Did you keep a pick with you?
Oh, yes.
You always keep a pick with you, man. You always had a pick with you. Why? Because your fro gets up.
Either in your back pocket or in your head. One or the other. Two places.
You always had a pick. When I had a big fro, I always had a pick with me. Because it gets messed up. And when you're a superhero and you tussle, you might want to pick out your fro's cameras.
I put Derek, if you want to check the staff thing, I put this picture in there so people can see, because they're asking, they don't know what we talk about.
Derek, have you not put up the picture yet?
I just sent it.
All I know is that, man, just y'all find some Afro sheen or some, spray some Stay Soft Fro on it or something.
Stay Soft Fro. I actually used to use Stay Soft Fro.
But that's part of our essence, is that we could be the smartest person in the room and look good. This is the problem. That's the miss. Just because he's super intelligent doesn't mean he don't know how to take care of himself. We're going to check the mirror. We're going to make sure our hair is good. We're going to make sure our clothes is good. This is an insult. I don't like it.
Now, the rest of his costume is comic accurate. So shout out to them for that.
That's something.
It is a comic accurate costume. A little bulky. My man looks like he might have skipped leg.
Like Nightcrawler. I knew that T was going to be problematic. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just.
I don't have any problems with the facial makeup stuff. I think it looks
It's just
fine.
the hair that's just throwing.
It's the hair that's distracting. The hair is distracting. First of all, Mr. Terrific has never had a fro like that.
Nope.
He has never had a fro that big.
Close.
There's never been a depiction of Mr. Terrific with his hair looking like that. I agree with you, Rich. They should have gave the brother a Caesar and a fade.
Yeah, it's just
high and
tight. You know what I'm saying? Just, tighten it up, bro. I mean, you right there in LA. That pretty enough barbers. Call Mr. Cartoon somebody.
Anybody.
Just head on by the airport. Go to LAX. Make a left. Go to Crenshaw and go get your touch up, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now LTR Art Spot says they gave him the red eyes that have been better look with the bulk tee on his face. I don't know. He might have looked like Ned the Wino. The bloodshot eyes. But I mean, we're gonna get Mr. Terrific in the next Superman movie. And as far as the Superman costume goes, I'm not tripping. I think James Gunn is doing a timepiece. So Oh, I'm good with that. I'm not tripping about the costume.
The costume did look bulky. I'm not one to say I don't like having the stylistic, stuff that they did with the costume. I think it's fine. I like the fact that they put the S back on the cape in the back. Haven't seen that since Christopher Reeve, so I missed that. But the costume itself did look a little bulky and rubbery.
Who owns Afro Sheen these days? I mean, bro, you can go to the beauty shop and get. They still sell Stay Soft Fro. You can still get that.
Stay Soft Fro, man, that takes me back to when I had hair.
You can go get. If he had a fade, he could even do some Murray grease. Get him some waves going.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So, Angel,
can you imagine how scientifically advanced Mr. Terrific's do-rag would be? It'd be made with some type of super chemical agent and like some ultra, cloth that he developed that gives added moisture and added slickness and added waves and stuff like that. He probably has nanites in it to make waves.
His do-rag would be a sentient being and be magical. That's what I think.
Oh, damn. They're angel. Sentient being do-rag.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
So, Angel, you're a Superman fan, right?
Yes.
So, what do you think about
I thought you were a Spider-Man fan. You got Spider-Man behind you.
Superman.
You can't be Superman and Spider-Man.
Wait. You can't spend 20 minutes talking about how the Force is more than the two-dimensional BS, and then sit there and put me in a box, sir.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So, what do you think about the Superman costume?
I didn't like it. It's too campy.
I think that's what he's going for. It's James Gunn. That's what he does.
The whole underwear thing bugs me. He's a grown man and he's got his underwear outside of his I don't like it.
I agree. I've never liked the underwear on the outside of the superhero costumes. When they did the New 52 in DC and they literally said, let's get rid of all the outside underwear, I was all for it. Yeah. Batman didn't have it anymore. Superman didn't have it anymore. Even Wonder Woman was switched to a leather skirt type thing rather than the hot pants thing they gave her.
Shout out to the underoos age.
I think they should have left the underwear in the past. I didn't mind the other stuff. It looked like a tribute to Christopher Reeve, which I love. That's the Superman I grew up on. But the underwear just throws it off and make it look campy. I don't want it. I'm not a fan.
Look, I actually read this. So James wrote, for those who don't know, Iron Man series. I love James Rhodes. He's what got me into Iron Man when he was Iron Man. James Rhodes has been in jail for reasons. It doesn't make any sense. Tony Stark left his boy in prison while he went off and married Emma Frost and did all this other stuff and left his boy, his best friend, in prison. That story made no sense whatsoever. Ben should have broke him out, but he gave him, after 10 issues or whatever it was, oh, here's a necklace and it has Iron Man suit, War Machine suit inside of it. So he finally uses, after 10 issues or whatever it is, 6 issues, finally uses the necklace and dons his old War Machine 1.0 armor inside. And it has a freshen up protocol, which gives him a high top fade from the 80s when he was originally War Machine, because that was one of the protocols in the suit, which was kind of a laugh out loud moment. It was kind of cool. But it still brought out the fact that why did Tony Stark leave his best friend in prison for an extended period of time? That's really didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, well, it's comics, man.
It's like, oh, we finally got our army together to go fight Orcus. so I'm gonna give Rhodey this necklace so he can finally get out of prison. Like, why didn't you do that in the first place? Like, he could have been out all along. He could have helped you develop the armor, and no, you're gonna leave him in prison while you do everything else and bring him out when when it's convenient for you. When he's used,
he was trying to get with his boo thing. You don't leave Emma Frost waiting.
I hated that storyline, and my stupid ass.
It was not a good storyline. Shout out to my man Brooklyn. Brooklyn hit me up, hit me with a DM and asked me about this. What's going on here? I'm like, man, oh no, bro. That's how they play. I mean, for real, we haven't talked about it. You know, I think this is the first time we've ever really talked about it or whatever. But I think it was so embarrassing and so just god awful that we didn't even want to mention it. So and
it was literally so bad I had no desire to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, the truth be told, what issue are they up to now? Like 12 or 13. But I know that when they started the run, it was pretty good going in, like for the first 4 or 5 issues, I think. And then it just kind of went off the rails. And like you said, Rhodey went to jail, and for his boy, he did all that for his boy. That's why you can't trust nobody out here in these comic streets.
Nope. Oh, what's worse? I forgot. He went to jail for Tony. For Tony. That's devotion. Like, yeah, massa, I'm gonna go to jail for you. Just leave me. Just pull me out when you need me.
Just don't need it.
I'm just chill right here.
Oh boy, it's time to go, y'all. What else is going on before we get out of here?
What was the other things I said we were going to talk about? I don't remember.
I was curious. Without giving it away, did you hear from your friend Paul about Sunday?
Oh, let me check.
So we're not sure that we may be doing a special edition of Real Talk with Rich or weekend Wednesday wrap up on Sunday. If we will have an interview, maybe, or maybe just a regular show. I don't know.
I sent him a message waiting to hear back. That was at 3:00 this afternoon.
So Jay asked a question: did anyone read Anansi Boys? Yes, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I read it, enjoyed it. Very good issue. So yeah. I'll point issue 19 is the current issue, but the series is canceled. But there's one more issue to go. Yeah.
So Sunday night we may have a very cool interview with a writer that all of you will know because his book comes up in our space all the time. Usually with the words, "When's the sequel coming out? When's the continuation happening?"
Yep.
So we'll give you details if that manages to manifest.
Yeah, Batman Cape Crusader dropped a new trailer today.
Oh my God, that was phenomenal. Yeah. That was phenomenal.
That's the animation?
Yeah. The animation style was exactly like the one from the original animated Batman animated series, except now you've got 21st century technology to do it. It was dope. I'm looking forward to that series.
Man, oh man, boy! I tell you what. Speaking of Batman, there's a Batman series coming out. Batman: The Last Halloween, which is like a 10-issue run. They did a trilogy of the Long Halloween. They did a prequel, and now this one that's coming out is the ending or the trilogy of the Long Halloween. It's called The Last Halloween, but it's going to be like 10 issues. So that's coming out. Huh?
No, I finished. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I was just saying that's getting ready to come out as well. So it's a lot of craziness going on.
It's a new TV series for Batman on August 1st. So quick, and I want to ask you guys and ask the chat. Top 5 animated series for superhero comics of all time.
Oh,
Go.
that's easy.
For comics or okay.
Well, comic related characters, yeah, comic book related
Okay.
characters.
I don't
That's
know how
easy.
deep. I don't know how deep I go, but I'd make Super Friends my number 1.
Hey.
Ooh, that's actually not a bad call. I ain't mad at it, except for the fact that the Justice League Unlimited series takes that spot for me. Although I will say personally, Super Friends as a child is what
Yes.
got me into comics.
Absolutely. That was the
It
gateway,
was
right?
It was Super Friends and the reruns of those old 1960s cartoons, the Marvel cartoons, the Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, and Thor, and Prince Namor. Yeah,
I never
between
saw
those and Super Friends, that's what got me into comic books.
I also enjoyed was it Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
From
Yeah,
1980s.
that was. Yep, I like that.
That's what got me into Spider-Man.
Oh, there you go.
Hardcore.
That was serious. Yep.
I would
like
have to say
Spawn.
I'd have to say Batman the Animated Series. I think that's one of the best. Justice League Unlimited is one of the best. X-Men Animated Series. The X-Men Animated Series from the 90s, one of the best. And just because I'm me, I'll say the Black Panther cartoon that was done by BET and Reggie Hudlin because it was outstanding. I never get tired. I absolutely never get tired of watching it. I can rewatch that anytime.
My top 5 is the Batman animated series, Super Friends number 2, Justice League number 3, Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man.
The one from the 60s?
Yes.
Yeah.
To the theme song, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, spins the web like a spider can. Yeah, that one. And the X-Men, the animated series. So, yeah. Yep.
I had a pickup to share. I showed you the picture of it earlier, Paul, but I was going to share that.
Is this a flex? Is this a flex moment?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's flex, but it's just,
Whenever he says, I don't know if it's a flex, it's a flex, y'all.
Well, I've been just, trolling eBay for a year waiting for this thing to pop up, and it finally popped up. So glad I was finally able to get it. And then there's a surprise inside of it, too. But this is
a Black Comic Lords exclusive.
Go ahead, man. Go do your thing.
Okay. Yeah. So Brian Steelfreeze building a monarchy sketchbook.
So mad right
Yeah, I've been waiting for a long time to find one of these on eBay. So got a lot of sketches, and then added bonus, his signature signed in here too. So
This is not a flex. You know that book is literally impossible to find, right? Look at that.
Dope.
Oh, look how pretty though.
That book is literally impossible to find. I just met Brian Steelfreeze at the beginning of the year. If I had that book, I could have had him sign that. The original art in it, a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm bitter that I don't own that book, and now I'm upset.
Why you gotta be bitter? Just go and find it.
Yeah, you find one, Paul.
It's not like I say, it's some stuff that just ain't for sale. Anybody's
It's
trying
not
to
out there. Not out there. That's why I'm bitter, because it's not out there. It's not hard. It's not easy to find.
Okay, if it was easy, it would be valuable.
What's that?
And I think you can still get this.
That's really that. You got Greg Burnham's book?
Yeah.
They printed out some extra copies of it.
So
yeah, but I thought that wasn't coming out for a while.
I ordered it. It came in today.
They gave it to you right away? Oh snap! I didn't know it was like that.
So Greg Burnham and Marcus Williams. This was a reprint of the very first book that they ever made, and I don't remember how many copies this they're
It wasn't
selling.
much. I think it was only
No.
like 200 copies or something.
Yeah, but it's called Starving Artist. I haven't read it yet, but it's got Marcus Williams' art, Greg Burnham's story, and I think both are very talented. So pick that up too.
Yeah.
So,
What was the website they put to buy that?
You know what? Let me check. I'll put the link online.
Oh, you know what? You know what it was? It was the Tuskegee Air's website.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. So go to Tuskegee Air's website.
Yeah.
TuskegeeAirs.com probably. Yeah, TuskegeeAirs.com. This came with it too.
Oh, that's what's
that's
up.
nice.
There we go.
Okay.
It's dope.
Yeah. I forgot I'd ordered it actually. It just showed up in the mail. I was happy.
Salute.
Yep.
Transformers, Thundercats, Hanna-Barbera cartoons. I watched all Saturday morning cartoons. But yeah, the G.I. Joe,
Oh, how did I not mention G.I. Joe? Jeez.
And Thundercats, and then Spider, the original Spider-Man, because that was in Syndicate when I was little. Even though it came out before.
I never saw those, I guess, 60s Marvel shows, Marvel animated
Really?
shows. No.
I'll find
I
you
guess,
the link and send it to you.
I guess I must have just missed it.
There's a YouTube. There is a YouTube channel that has like 3 hours of Marvel cartoons.
Yes, there is. I'll see if I can find you the link.
Yeah, it has Thor, has Captain America, and Hulk. There's a lot of shows that they did back in the day, classics.
Because I
They're
remember
literally recreations of the old 1960s comic books. They're really, really good.
Okay, because I just the first thing I remember really was being all about the Incredible Hulk, the live action Incredible Hulk, and then the Super Friends. Those are my two shows. So what was that? Late 70s, early 80s.
Yep. I was a Thundar and the Barbarian, the Herculoids.
Yeah, Herculoids. Oh, I love it.
There's a comic. There's a comic book.
Hanna-Barbera did some of the best television.
Space Ghost. Was that?
I said Hanna-Barbera is some of the best television of all time.
Yes, it was.
I think there's a comic book for Thundar the Barbarian too, right?
Yes.
I don't know. It was highly printed or
I wonder if
anything.
they're going to do. I wonder if they're going to do a Panthro, because they're doing a Shatara book from the Thundercats. So I was just curious. Y'all gonna buy it? Are we claiming? Are we claiming Panthro?
They'll probably say Panthro is from a world of panther cats, and they'll all be like Negroid featured cats, Thundercats. And it'll be like a Wakanda with like panther people.
That's funny.
Mark my words, it's gonna be like.
Yeah. Anyway,
time for us to roll.
Time to roll out and say we've had a wonderful time. Shout out to the good people at Afrofutures. Support their Kickstarter, and
let me flash that link one more time. The Kickstarter link, just in case you missed the interview in the beginning of the show. Go back and watch it. I highly recommend that you go on and buy from that Kickstarter, if for no other reason, because they're bringing back all Negro comics, storylines basically, which is great to see that. So, oops, that's the wrong one. We'll get to that one next. You can find it. Where is it? Here we go.
And make sure to check out Atlantic Comic Con.
Yeah,
all of us will be there. Even Herschel will show up, I've been told.
Why you gotta even say even Herschel?
Well, it's always tenuous,
Oh, and shout out to the good people that are putting this on. We need to get the itinerary, man. I have not booked my flight yet because I don't know how we doing it.
Rich, don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
Business on the air.
I mean, we gonna be there. Y'all listen. If you want me if you want this pimping, and I need everything. I need what I need.
Trouble.
These are just jokey jokes, y'all.
I'm gonna send Rich as a gag gift a package of coffee filters.
Whatever.
And he will immediately take it and throw it in the trash and say none required.
Yeah, shout out to Jeffrey Thorne. He said, "But y'all still up? Yeah, we still up. We getting ready to go though,
What's
sir."
up, Jeffrey? Yeah. So, and
you know what? When is X Force 1 coming out?
Isn't it July? The first week of July? No, October. Jeffrey Thorne, when's your book coming out?
All right.
Rich
While
is
he's
still
answering that,
acting like Patrice O'Neal. You want the good, you get the bad.
Hey,
July 30th.
Listen,
July
to
31st.
be compared with the legend that is Patrice O'Neal, I ain't mad at that at all. but no, real talk though. We gonna be at Atlantic Comic Con. We gonna hang out. We gonna do our thing. We're gonna moderate panels, and we're gonna have a good time. Looking forward to just hanging out with all of our people on the East Coast, and hopefully some people will be able to come out from West, whatever, because we'll be in that DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I'm just looking for some good food.
Imagine the Black Comic Lords doing what we're doing right now, but live.
Yeah.
Up close and in person, unfiltered. Are we gonna be filtered at con? Can we be filtered at con? We don't have to worry about. We don't have to worry about YouTube.
There's no beep button.
Yeah, when you're at a con, you don't have to worry about YouTube tagging you for whatever you're saying. There'll be no disclaimer button for Rich.
Nope. None.
I'm gonna be incognito the whole time I'm there. I'm gonna be walking around. I'm gonna be walking around unassuming, unthinking. I'm be like, who's that guy over there? I don't know who that guy is.
Shout out to Jeff.
Super chat. One love, you maniacs.
You got that right.
Hit him with the new. Hit him with the new, Derek. Hit him with the new.
Here we go.
Show me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. I love black people.
Thank you.
That might be my new favorite super chat video.
Oh boy.
You're welcome,
by
Paul.
the way,
Vagrant says
before we get out of here,
you need to hook up with ATL blurred, side by side, unfiltered. Can you imagine the grenades they'll throw with reckless abandon? We would be canceled. The channel would be canceled within 24 hours.
Look, we are going to be. Listen, this is going to be one of the blackest cons ever. So we're going to be in good company. What it's going to be. Listen, if me and Mark have our way, it's going to be like the barbershop.
Oh Lord.
And like my man Cedric, the entertainer, said in the movie Barbershop, if we can't talk straight in the barbershop, where can we talk straight? So, yeah. But anyway,
I'm gonna call him Clay.
So look, shout out to my man DJ Bigfield, who on Monday night was on Comic Art Live, and he did his thing. He talked about the documentary that he's doing. He talked about the exhibit that he's going to have at the August Wilson in Pittsburgh. And it was good to know, to get the news that the exhibit is going to be around from like the time when they do the initial, I think it's July 12th, but it's going to go all the way to January. So if you can't make it down for the premiere, you can make it to the museum and get to see the exhibit. It's going to be on display for a number of months. And I've already told my wife that, honey, you want to go to Pittsburgh? So we're going to Pittsburgh, if nothing else, to see that exhibit. It's going to be amazing.
Must see.
And also, also the comic art symposium. Was that what it's called, Paul?
Comic Art Live. Comic Art.
No, I'm talking about the art show in Orlando.
Oh, it's called Orlando Art Expo, OAX.
Yeah, OAX. That's going to be in January. Yeah. And the way they were talking on that show, that they're going to try to make it seem they're seeming that you'll be able to see the actual documentary the filming of it. We'll be able to check it out or whatever. So I don't know if you're going to be able to make it out there. And I'm going to be honest, I saw the prices for the OAX, and we can need some more cash. We need some more. We need some more super chats.
Yeah, I on the way out, I think I can play. I think I can play the trailer for.
Okay,
Are you sure? Because you got that
out.
Bobo Macintosh. It doesn't seem to like to play anything.
I did some reboots. I think I'll be good.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
All right.
You guys check out this this clip, and we're gonna get out of here, man. We love y'all. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. Until next time, we say love, peace, soul, and get some hair grease from Mr. Terrific. Please
support Epiphany Engine, support Afrofutures, and go to Atlanta Comic Con. Black Comic Lords, we got you.
And please send somebody some grease.
Documentary, if we could capture what's going on right now, it would be like going in the past and getting the Harlem Renaissance, capturing that on film in the beginning.
What's important about this film is you are documenting exactly all aspects of how that is affecting this industry. Start talking about, you know, the whole collection process. You're talking about fans, you're talking about collectors, you're talking about investors, you're talking about the producers, the workers. What you're capturing here is going to be important years after we're gone, because I think your film is going to show a side of this that nobody ever thought about. And it's taken all this long to actually put this level of commitment into what you're trying to show. People are going to be shocked. Oh, there's that many black people that are into this, and they spend this, and this business is this big. I'm honored to be a part of it. Larry's honored to be a part of it. This is going to be.
What I was doing is whatever I worked on, I added black characters into the. I'd stick them in the background. That's how I started doing all the crowd scenes. I'm gonna have somebody black in this somewhere.